Ladies and gentlemen, guys, gals, non-binary pals, welcome back to the Entropy Subbase Invite Cup. We're still on day one here. We've got the upper bracket finals because you just watched Team Papi beat Team Salentes. A nice little 3-map series there. Just Team Papi taking it on Subbase both times. Now, moving in to the upper bracket finals. Of course, my name is Wandem. I've got Lucky here as well. Samus, being an absolute tank, she's still here with us. Lucky, how we doing?
Hello.
How we feeling?
Absolutely fantastic. Really looking forward to seeing how these maps are played and how these pro gamers are taking to them. I've seen a lot of it in mixes, a lot of it in tier 2 centers and more casual areas and stuff, and it just seems like Subbase, it's got the makings of a really, really nice map. So I'm excited to see what Yellen kind of does with it and stuff going forwards, and if we can even get people to vote and see if we can get it in the season eventually once it's all polished out and tested and stuff. But with Entropy, opinions may be varied slightly.
Yeah, Entropy is a bit of a weird map. I'm going to be honest. I played a little bit of both maps in the coveted Simon D mixes, where they regularly play these maps. The group of players headed for first and foremost by youtube.com/RivkaTF. You might know him from frag videos. Most of them, pretty much all of those frags come from D-mixes, and they play this map very, very regularly. They play both of them pretty often, as, played both of them. I think I agree. Subbase feels like a much more of what we're used to seeing out of a Sixes map, whereas Entropy is a little bit weird. It has some very odd, size proportions where the middle is absolutely massive, but there's not really any high ground. And then second has a ton of high ground, but is also tiny and very long and narrow. It's a strange map, but
yeah, it did feel kind of a little bit like an oversized Sunshine, without Tetris. That's kind of what it felt like, I think, in Entropy. Yeah. And but this Subbase? It's yes. Very flowy. All the tricks are nice. It's clearly been thought about in terms of how your soldier's going to roll out, how your demo's going to roll out. All those things have been thought out, and packs and stuff, like health packs, ammo packs, that kind of thing. And it's definitely very, very tailored to competitive 6v6. It's got all the kind of things that you want, and I think it allows for a lot of creativity between teams and stuff. So when you're seeing it in a mix like this, and you're not seeing people generate strats, you're kind of seeing people kind of learn it on the fly. Imagine if they did teams playing on it. Crazy. You could get strats all over the place.
Yeah, that's kind of a thing, though. I think before we get teams on it, we do need to sort of see if it works or not. I think this setting is a really good setting to honestly try and test it. I think, honestly, for me as well on Subbase, I think the main point that I'm honestly a bit curious about is how teams choose to go about holding on second. Because there's not really an obvious spot to hold it in the same way that there would be on a lot of other maps. And usually you sort of look for high ground, and while there is high ground on second on Subbase, it's just tucked so far away. Such a weird position. You saw the teams earlier kind of holding on the staircase. It is some high ground, but there's just so little of it. It feels very strange to hold.
Yeah, originally on the first few iterations of Subbase, the point was actually on a high ground, so you would just hold on top of that point there in the middle, but they've removed that, and now it's on the low ground, and you've got this very small area to stand on, which is high ground, and you kind of either have to hold against the shutter, or you have to hold on that top left area, or both. But it's got 4 doors, or 3 doors even, heading into the second, so it's hard to hold on to all of it without getting flanked as well. So it's it feels very broad on second, and I can see exactly what you mean in terms of people trying to figure out what they're supposed to do when you hold on to it. So we'll see what they kind of do. It feels very lobby is so broad as well. When you go into lobby, there's just so many places you can run around in. There's so much space for maneuvering and stuff. So there's lots and lots of counterplay coming out of Blast, but I feel like that is very much needed, especially when we've got maps like Snake Water where people can't push off a Blast. By making a second that can get pushed into, you're opening up for more play, I think.
Yeah, it's nice to see, right? I think everyone who's in this chat right now has been on Snakewater Lost for too long in their lives, and being able to have some sort of counterplay is really nice. I think before we really fully go into this, we should briefly talk about the players playing. Obviously, people on stream, if you're watching the previous game, if you're good boys, if you're good girls, you would have seen Team Papi Boulder still on Scout with Zoe as well, then Papi Phoenix on Soldiers, Rat Slayer or Bunny on Demoman Auto on Medic. But on the other side, it's Team Joe did take their victory, and it's Agent Spice I see a Gaz. I see a Hugo. A Joe on Soldier. Looks like Philip on Demo Man. And then KO on Medic. KO, Lucky, might need an introduction.
KO might need an introduction. He's been sort of like rising up the ranks for a little bit. He spent a lot of time in Div 2, then moved up to Div 1, and has just been performing pretty well. And generally seems like he's going to be like one of the next Prem players. I mean, we obviously as well, I think people have heard about Boulder at this point as well. He's been rising up super fast. Definitely one of the scouts to look out for. He's going to crush going forward. So again, another player to look out for in these games that's relatively new to the high div scene, Div 1/Prem kind of vibe. KO is definitely going to be up there with them, with the best of the best at this point. So, but let's see how he can do. I mean, when it comes to Premiership, there's definitely that step above, especially when you're playing against people like Papi. How it feels to play against soldiers like him, it feels impossible. It feels like you can never escape unless your teammates two-shot Papi out the skybox.
It feels like everyone's kind of seen that clip eventually, right? Where I think like we coined it. I think the TF2 community kind of unofficially coined the Papi Silentas like power bomb, where they just bomb together. We call it the boyfriend bomb because they just bomb together in a singular unit. They've managed to get so coordinated. I think, thankfully for the red team here, for Team Joe, they will not be pairing. But guys, ladies and gentlemen, guys, gals, binary pals, we're here. We're on Subbase. Of course, the cup works in the way. From Subbase into Entropy, and then if a decider is necessary, we're going back to Subbase. Papi, super early on in the middle, instantly taken down by Gaz there. Philip actually does take some damage. So when this soldier bombs across, it's just a lot of damage dealt to KO, who now is taken down, and the blue team can just walk right across the point. Hugo, Joe, want to get into auto? It's a decent start, actually, but Hugo now bouncing to the air. It's a wipe for Team Papi.
Bit of a soldier playground, this mid. Lots and lots of high bombs, people bombing all over the place. They're very, very scattered bombs and stuff that are here, there, and everywhere. But you can see the team that wins out in the end had 2 scouts remaining, and they just grouped up around Auto, deflected those soldier bombs away, while 2 other soldiers on the blue team just fed their lives into this medic, eventually picking up the frag, and Auto just did a great job of surviving. So now they've got this full ad to push in with, and they've also capped out second. They've got to wait for their damage to roll out, but we're going to look at the setup onto last. They are building a sentry gun currently. They've got it in that little secret hideaway spot in lower by the fish. So that's going to cover a slight bit of the point, but it just feels like if the gun's in that spot, that it's going to get spammed down or like destroyed pretty quickly by a Demoman just peeking the corner. But we'll see what they do as they come with Uber.
Uber's now in straight onto a bunny and onto a boulder here, as now you have to deal with this heavy who's actually hiding behind the corner here. Taking a long time to get taken down is finally Agent Spice. Joe are dead as well, but the counter trades are just coming up here. Gazi, nice little Widowmaker kill there, as Papi could just bomb onto the point, try to get something done. The auto arrow doesn't connect. He's the only one left. Actually did get the kill into KO there towards the beginning of that fight, which means that Mortal can somehow sneak alive. It's a little bit difficult. Gazi's
I don't think so.
Just gets 2 shot.
Yeah, Gazi just collects that frag pretty easy, so it's going to be a slight Uber advantage. But the rest of the blue team have rallied, and they've managed to get on second now as well. So KO and the rest of the team are going to have to head back towards last, but the blue team kind of splitting up, spreading all over the place to see what they can do here. But the blue team is looking like they don't want to hold this one. They are giving up a lot of ground here. Ratslayer is holding on to that shutter door, but the rest of the space has been taken. Boulder does go down. Hugo trades out for that one. Auto comes running in, drops to the low ground, and is now getting expanded. Choke might get caught here. They are getting trapped in for a long time, but no soldiers available for the red team. Phoenix coming in the high bomb, really deep now, doing a lot of damage. Philip goes down on the point. Zoe's going to get pushed away as well. Gaz gets super weak. This red team is going to need to think about leaving here. Blue team have just got a better position, but no, they pick up Phoenix all of a sudden, and Joe is back into the fight. Unfortunately, KO misses an arrow then, but Agent runs in. 2 shots onto the Ratslayer, and then also gets the pistol kill. Agent picking up another frag onto Zoe, and that's a load of frags for Agent right there.
That's a really nice hold there from Team Joe, making sure that Phoenix, yes, he gets a lot of damage done. They lose their damage super early on, but a trade kill to Papi onto the flank means there's just not that much aggression coming out of the blue squad now. It's actually even. Uber's here, only 10% here. 4 KO is the advantage, and he just gets forced out for Uber super early. Uber in on 2 auto as the counter Uber now is popped out. There's no one to KO the heal. He's stuck between every single member of the blue team, and he's just taken down. 2 players up now. Gaz, Philip, German power duo. I don't know if they're going to do anything here, honestly.
Nah. Philip's in onto Zoe, which isn't really the player that you want to be jumping on here. Auto still alive, is going to be building up his Uber charge up to 35%. Is going to be around that in ad, and they're going to start making their way in. Hugo's already opted for the spy pass. Gaz up on the sniper in the forward spawn, see what they can do here, but it looks like swapping off of spy immediately. Phoenix is already in behind on Lobby. He's going to get on top of KO here by the looks of things. And does hit all the rockets and manages to take him down. Agent's also going to get caught here in. And they lose 3 in the end. And that Uber advantage has gone even bigger. It's a 200% ad here, Juan.
200% ad, and so many players down. So papi, honestly, the rest of the team, they can just come forwards. They just have to take care of this level 1 built by Yazzie. Spy comes in. Hugo just meets the head of, I think it's Sigmund Freud? I'm not sure. One of the big smart white men that have existed over the years is now point capture just coming out. Finally, the Uber comes out and Philip actually takes down with the heavy. The pyro out of Gaz does so much work, and Agent Spice, he's 100 HP, and he manages to just get a 3k. That's a Putin's moment.
Agent is cracked. This guy's kind of insane. We should have given Agent more of an introduction, to be honest. This guy's insane. He's been like playing around in Div 2 and Div 1 for a long time, but definitely showing up against these players in the upper echelons of Team Fortress 2.
It's weird, right? Because he played medic for Duplo. I think his sort of main occupation at the moment, playing medic for the Swedes, is now he's playing scout. He's doing a really good job though. Right here on to a second, the red team, they're looking to push forward. It's so difficult, right? They're losing so many players already. They're down 1 here, taking so much damage, but a Devilman kill is a really good start. The KO just taken down, and it's so difficult now for them to go in. They don't have the health anymore. Agent Spice cannot make it work.
Yeah, Phoenix putting in the work there, manages to get back to his medic as well, gets healed up, and now Auto, once again, with this insane survivability that he's built up with playing with Tier 2 easy, Agent also going down on second as well. Just managing to retain this Uber advantage, and they're heading in through the riverside, it looks like, onto the left-hand side as they start trying to walk in. The Pyro is there, there's Reflex from Rockets. They're just going to wait up a little bit, wait for their demo to sort of get around, and then start this push going forwards. Pappy's going to start walking in here, just trying to see what is there, and they're just going to walk in with this, but also, this gets found Victor's have to use off that Uber, and Joe now pressured into the spawn door, and it looks like now they're trying to counter. You go onto Phoenix in the corner, just managed to take down the Agent Heavy, back out again, this time swiftly deleted, but everyone else just falling here, and this last, impossible.
It feels like, honestly, they just don't have a good way to deal with this Pyro and the Heavy in combination. Makes it so difficult. That Heavy comes out so late. He's so well protected by that little wall. We can just stand behind and still shoot players on the point. Comes back out, focus fire. I think it's just not quite there for Team Pappy. As once again, I think, is that push number 3 to last that they failed now?
Yeah, I mean, what can you do? But also, third successful attempt at them getting back onto second as well and recapturing this point here. So it just shows that you can get out here. Phoenix just gets air shot, also missed the arrow, and very sad. But Joe getting pushed all the way back to his choke. But meanwhile, they're pushing all the way up on this left-hand side. They've shot Zoe down to minimal amount of HP, pressure on 2 HP, and they're going to get onto this point as well, start capping up. Auto with 50%, KO still has this advantage to play with, so they're going to start making their way in through the like weird catwalk crate area. I don't know what to call it.
I think catwalk is good, or balcony, or whatever. It's sort of usual tier 2 vocabulary. 1 kill to Zoe here as Team Joe, just to manage to get in. Now they have a really good angle into last here. They technically have advantage, but Auto's 95.
Whoa,
actually add. Hugo's just in, he's pushing in now. Because are even just trying to maybe get the force out of Auto? No, the Heavy comes up. Just everyone back on last, sitting there. Nothing's happening, surely.
Heavy comes up, and now what? What are you gonna do?
I think you need to bomb the nuke, which is it's a line I want to say in a serious cast so bad. Because on this last point, it features a bomb that you can jump on top of. And I need to call in the heat of the moment that a soldier is bombing nuke. Because I think that's what it's been officially dubbed as well. I think it's actually just called nuke.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That's very good. But they are starting to build a dispenser as well. They've got NG trying to build a gun, but is slowly getting spammed here on the left-hand side. And it seems like that gun spot is not meant for this, unfortunately, because they can't pressure this left-hand side enough or defend it enough with their demo man in order to get their gun built. So they do move it into the middle of the room, and it's slightly more defensible. But it seems really hard to build a gun, actually, on this last. There's so many angles you can spam it from.
It is actually... It's weird, right? Like, there are a lot of angles, but it's also... I feel like the angles have gotten away where you can see how easy it is for the soldiers to kind of get in and do counter damage. Sort of commit to one door. There's very easily... It's very easy for Pappy to just kind of come in, reverse, do a lot of damage. You can see that Joe wants to go forwards and just gets completely denied there. Projectiles feel really powerful. And there we go, to kill onto Joe now. 1 soldier dead means that the rest of his team are back on to second. Still even Ubers. I'm gonna be curious now. Off classes, do they happen ever?
I think that you can definitely run a sniper here. The lobby is so deep and wide, and there's just so many angles that if you can play around with a sniper, then it's definitely going to work in your favor. Trying to get these angles in. You might not get the med, but you'll definitely be able to pick off a demo man trying to peek a door or something, trying to hold a door. You'll be able to get soldiers, etc. And then you can sort of play around from there. You've also got this long riverside sort of thing, is what I'm just going to call it, because it's the same as Snakewater River by the feels of it.
Yeah. Zoe in spawn, which is on spy, checking, found out that Joe is on sniper, so he swapped to the counter sniper. Now, sniper v sniper, Joe's going to try to peek in through river. We're just going to call it river. It's Gully Wash River, but it's Gully Wash River. As he just loses the sniper 1v1 to Zoe there. As now one sniper dead. It's hard to push. When you have an engineer and a sniper, you can see Papi tries to make a snack happen, but it's so difficult. There's not really any team support that realistically can happen. So many players down instead. Got Hugo into water. We're gonna call it. This is just Snake. I'm just gonna call it water. I mean, I'm sorry, but it is what it is.
It is water, yeah. It's Gully Wash. We're playing Gully Wash right now. That's what's happening. It's just got a wider last. But it's so hard to get a soldier in to do a sack. Is the main problem, I feel, right? Like the doors are so low that you can't. You have to jump like through a doorway, which can be sticky, or you can get juggled in the doorway. And it's just kind of poo. So. Yeah, hard to sack into this last for sure, which is why I feel like the sniper could do even more work, or a spy of some kind, but they have opted for this sentry spot with a pirate, and it seems pretty impassable.
So difficult. You can see actually there, it's Joe just trying to bomb in with Hugo as well. They get the gun down, but Auto hiding in the dispenser means that it's actually just 3 dead. They're trying to suck in, try to get the force out. They just don't get it. They finally get the kill onto the sentry gun. There's so many members that now they're holding such a weird position. They're kind of sandwiched between the whole of the blue team here. As KO just kind of has to pop the Zuba to try and get back out alive here. Philip now taken down as well. It's a scout trade here onto the point as KO still trying to dash, hopefully, to the rest of his team. Happy actually doesn't quite hit the rocket from KO. He successfully managed to get out of that sticky situation. Kill onto Auto, onto Phoenix, and maybe Team Joe take a weird Uber trade, and they have just converted it, potentially, I say, into a last round. Nope. There we go.
Wow.
Out first Joe in the end. It's 1-0.
Very nice trade there from Agent. He knew his limits there with that one and sort of baited them in. They had so many players ready to receive them on their post Uber, and they got all their forward spawners in. I think Agent knew that and just used that to his advantage on that trade. So super well played from them on the second point, and lots of creative play as well. So heading into another mid now.
Middle number 2 here. We're going to see if Papi decides to be as aggressive as he was last time. It's so much damage on the Philip basically immediately as Ratsler kind of combined with his soldiers walking across point. The counter aggression does come out and get the kill onto Auto, but it's a lot more work that has to be done. Actually, Joe's managed to find 2, but it's going to be the end of that middle. Such a fast middle. Everyone just walks across immediately, and as soon as one team is done, the other team is like, okay, I'll turn now. We kill you guys now. And it's kind of, you know, it's weird.
It feels like Mad Max. They're just all screaming, "Witness!" and then you just run across the point, and then they all die.
It's funny because Papi plays on Witness Gaming.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I think we should be saying that in cast, to be honest, Wang. We should be screaming "Witness" every single time that they do something crazy. But pressuring now to second. Both medics did die on that mid-fight. Auto has managed to build a small advantage because he spawned slightly earlier. But now, these scouts on the right-hand side, I was going to say they're slightly out of position away from their team, but it's alright because Gaz just 2 shots onto Zoe, and now the blue team going to head back in towards mid. They're just going to consolidate their Uber advantage. Not that they'll probably know about it too much, because, I mean, it's such a small advantage that using it could be rather risky. So they're just going to be chilling out on the red crates on the left-hand side.
Sitting back. Now it's time to explore the flanks of this map. You can see Gaz and Hugo. But he's trying to make something happen. There's actually just a Joe in behind onto the enemy team as the Uber now comes out. This is soldier fight on middle. The Uber trade is happening on second. It's actually the red soldiers here getting the better of that fight. But in the meantime, that Uber trade on second just did not work out in their favor at all. Hugo now bombing in, trying to get onto Auto. Doesn't make it work. There's one demo man alive and he's taken down. Spawners. It's 2 up here. Agent, Spice, and KO. They're coming up. Might actually get a Gazzy here and a Joe as well, but they're building Uber charge. They don't have the off class. They need to cap this now. And he comes back, but it's not on the point. And there we go. 1-1.
Yeah, taking out the Putis just then when they're running onto the point. You see them running to the point, you pick Putis. recipe for disaster. You can't get to that point in time, and that's all it takes. I mean, that Uber trade on second and the 2v2 MG on mid, rather questionable, since those two soldiers that were fighting on mid ended up losing them that in the end, because they could have collapsed on second instead. But they opted to take the 2v2. They, granted, did win it, but they weren't there for their team in the end and lost them the round in the end.
Weird balcony middle coming out here as both teams going to sit up on that catwalk, that balcony respectively, as now papi going to bump forwards, try to get into the enemy team, and was supported by Phoenix. It's actually not a kill into KO. He lives with 19 HP, and now the counter kills are going to come out of the red team. KO still just so dangerously low. Has to be careful, but it's just Boulder, just Auto, and they don't want anything.
Yeah, Gaz just fighting onto Boulder. Boulder has the beam, Gaz does not, and he's just running at them the whole time. And he just does not care, but very big balls coming out of this man. But Boulder and Ko are going to be holding on to second. Looks like they want to take a trade here. Auto does have a Zuba, and so does KO. So, and they have the high ground, and we know how that goes. But looks like papi going to be shooting onto these scouts now, shooting up at them. Not recommended in the grand scheme of things. He does get cleaned up on the right-hand side. Maybe leave. Auto gets forced, and they lose 2 in the end though. Good little cleanup there, but KO does use out Zuba rather prematurely there as they just chase them out of second. They're just going to use the Zuba to secure second. They're actually now trapped in this corner. They're not pushing into them enough though. Ratslayer just walks straight back out with Boulder, and now the tides have turned as Phoenix bombs in. KO is mega damaged, and he is looking like he's going to go down here.
He's shot to the corner, but actually no, he's still
God.
not gone down. Finally, papi comes in with a return bomb here. As now everyone wants to go in onto Auto. This fight is so weird. This would never happen in an official game. I just see papi going forwards, trying to take the Giga Chad upwards direct scout into 2 scout, and it just didn't work. Auto abandoned him, and they're still fighting on second. They still want to get this kill into Auto, as they're just not getting it. Finally, Agent Spice is going to run away. This is a big ad for Auto here. Now onto the midpoint. He's going to be very scared of a hider, actually. They don't know where everyone is. He's a soldier. He's a Joe.
That's one thing that this map doesn't quite have yet, you know. It doesn't have, like, all those funky cosmetics in the map to, like, hide stickies in or hide players in, you know what I mean?
Yeah, this is a very pure map. None of the nonsense where you know, there's a cone and you put like 20 sticky traps in it. The rocks on Snakewater Grass, where all of demo men are always like just a whole tribe hiding in one rock. Now, actually, Uber just in into last straight away. KO 90% Uber here, as Sentry Gunner not dealt with them.
Oh, wow.
Has to come out so they don't finish the cap. The scout, Boulder just barely taken down, unfortunately. Auto had to flash him to kind of keep him alive in the first place. Because he flashed him, they just don't get the cap.
What can I say as well? Also, that was an excellent flash as well. He took the Uber off on the point on purpose, just so they can try and get as much cap as possible, and saved his scout in the end, only just though, and saving himself at the same time. So Auto did a great job, but couldn't quite finish it out in the end. The heavy comes out, and there's just heavy playground on last, you know, and they've managed to push back up to second. Worth mentioning as well, since you can actually push out of this last.
It's nice. We're already back onto the middle here, and there is no blue team that wants anything to do with that middle point. Instead, they just backed out, sitting on second. They're going to get all their players up. So only 30 dissat. I say only 30 just because these fights have been so long, happening so often. It feels like it honestly shouldn't be the biggest deal in the world. As Team Joe definitely have had that maybe they should be looking to push, but maybe they're just setting up on middle here. I think one thing that you're always testing on a map is how easy it is to push, but I think something else very important is to test how easy is it to not push.
Yeah, true, yeah. Joe going in with the bomb here does get cleaned up pretty much immediately by Boulder and Zoe. Gets deleted out of the sky. So red team now are going to be looking to try and counter whatever sack comes their way. papi's looking at the choke point here, and Phoenix is moving in through the flank. Is going to just peek through, notices Hugo, goes for a couple cheeky rockets firing up at the high ground once again. Soldiers do not want to bomb this game, and they do sweet nothing.
Perfect. That's the papi Roma I like to see. None of this bombing stuff. You can tell he's not used to it, right? papi... Alright, here's the thing. Let's give everyone in the chat some papi lore. Is that you might think of papi as the pocket soldier leader of Witness Gaming, but he actually originally started out as the roaming soldier with a bunny on his team, actually, on Nunya, way back in the day. Playing also with Yulin, the creator of Subbase, the map that you're currently seeing on your screen now. Back on the Roma here, trying to make it work, and I mean, he's been doing okay. He's been very aggressive on the middle so far.
Yeah. He's been doing his thing, but, you know, he's maybe slightly uncomfortable. He's been so used to playing pocket soldier this whole time, but, you know, I'm sure he's finding it easy enough to flip-flop around, probably having fun with it or whatever. But both teams just willing to chill out here. We've got Philip trying to pad his logs, spamming single stickies. Joe going in for a high bomb once again, jumps through the choke, lands onto Rat Slayer. Good damage has been done. Shot from Hugo, annihilated on Rat Slayer.
Yeah, Rat Slayer just gets taken down. That's no Demo Man. It means both of these soldiers, they have to hold this choke point super close to make up from spam damage from missing that Demo Man. Instead, now, you can see Team Joe, they immediately pivot over to choke. Papi wants to bump forwards, gets a lot of damage dealt, but doesn't find any kills for his team. So instead, now, it is one player down once again. But Team Joe, they're not able to find that foothold that they really need to actually be able to properly get in on the second. We see both scouts just holding on this high ground on top of that, and it's so difficult for the red team to actually finally come in now as the Demo Man spam damage out of Philip is doing a lot of work to the back line.
Holy trade. Boulder trading in this choke as well. Oh, nice action from Hugo. Doubles.
Rockets
Triples! Oh my god, Hugo, calm down, sir. But very nice rockets. Drops the G's.
Doesn't find anything.
Absolutely insane. Boulder with an insane trade on choke just then, though. Like, he went in 1v4 and just absolutely smacked them around. It was kind of disgusting how much he did on that trade, but Hugo, very nice. Just denies pretty much the whole Uber, makes it so they can't get back into mid.
It's even Ubers though. No one's doing anything. It's just even Ubers. This is my scary thing. This is where I get scared. Because it's a new map, and one thing is that you maybe don't know how to hold. But like, what if holding is way easier than pushing? And then you just never push, and we're back on CP Snakewater. And that's
Can we just quickly ask, is there any NA players in chat that know how to push? Because we need help in Europe.
Is there, I've seen a couple of North Americans in chat earlier on. Can you please just like, message Papi on Steam right now and tell him what to do? Because he really needs the advice.
It's probably just going to be one word, and that word is push.
I think I think what you can do is DM Lucky on Discord, and then he will give you Papi's Discord, and then you can message Papi and tell him to push.
Fantastic, yeah, that'll work. Do that.
Yep.
And walking in through the choke. Also found the spot, I want to say, by the way. Oh, yes, full spam. Never mind. We talked about this before. He gets bombed and forced as well. Okay. We talked about how I have the biggest caster curse in the game regularly, and it just like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. It does look good. I think if you have a scout, until you can you splash on the pillar? Because I feel like
you can splash on the pillar, yeah.
Yeah, okay, then that position's awful. Why would you send that? You just shoot the rockets, you shoot the pipes, and
yeah, but if the medic's away, you just move around the pole, you know, like. You just didn't see him. No BM to auto, not calling him unaware or anything there. But he needed to use his eyeballs. Look at the choke.
Now, red team is positioning. It's 30 seconds left on this round clock. They do need to cap second. They have a giant ad. Papi wants to go in and try and find something. Only does about 100 damage to Gazi. Not enough. You need a little bit more. So now, Team Joe, they're leaving one scout behind in Gaz to try and cap up this second as the Uber charge is just going to come straight through of that river there. Now, Counter Uber does actually come out of auto. He barely manages to get it. Now, Sentry Gun up as well is just taken down immediately as I say that. Now, instead, the Reaper should be coming forward. This trade kill, though. Demo Man down for the blue team, but two members taken down. Agent Spice and Joe. Now, Philip should be following as well. Hugo down. Papi on the chase onto KO, onto Gazi. They're running far back. Can they deal with a soldier bomb? He wants to get rockets. He doesn't go for it.
Another failed push and another Zoe heavy farming damage. That's all I've got to say. They just could not focus him down at all. So, looks like now it's going to be building up the supercharge, and it's exactly even. Basically, there's 1% in it. So, both teams going to be chilling out again, and we're in the same spot we were in last time. 1-1 with 7 minutes remaining.
All right, Auto's getting on the spot. He's on the spot, and surely this time it will work.
This time needs to watch that flank. They need someone to watch that door.
Who do you think is the best door watcher of all time for Team Fortress 2, Lucky?
Drag.
That's true. Yeah.
Any other questions you want to throw? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone else got any other takes on door watchers?
I'm gonna be honest, I do not have Twitch chat open, but just pretend that I do, and
yeah.
I will say, Solentes has also had some door-watching moments in his TF2 playing career. Not gonna lie. Sideshow as well.
Oh, Hugo's in onto auto. Lovely little surf there. Does get forced though. Lovely direct as well from Hugo. He's just landing all the rockets today. The force comes out. KO nowhere to be seen. Just on the other side of mid. He's just going to be holding onto his overcharge. Could now take it into if they wanted to just kill off these players that have come into mid. The agent looks like he's going to get dropped here in the choke point. They do unfortunately lose him, but they are going to catch their forward spawners. But this blue team, all they've got to do is build up their Uber, because they're going to be taking a 4v6 on the red team right now as they're coming in through the flank. Also might get caught out here, does manage to link up with the Scours. The Uber comes out of the bomb. Going away, Ratslayer is going to leave this fight, and they're going to try and get this recapture onto mid. Now, the refight is definitely a possibility here, and it is. Auto getting high bomb, though, straight away. Joe is going to not find that kill, as Auto manages to slip away. Boulder does find that frag. The back cap doesn't come in. Papi and Phoenix were trying to make that happen with a 2x on the cap, but now there's no soldiers available. Bomb coming in. Philip is onto Ratslayer here, taking that 1v1, and he manages to slip away back out the shutter door as well, and Boulder is currently taking a 1v1 on the left-hand side versus Gaz, and now Philip is going to join on that fight. But they're going to start leaving here because they do, in fact, have the high ground on the blue team again, and we're in the same position we were in before. Just Auto has ad this time.
Yeah, they had the high ground. They also had the advantage here as well, so they're just going to be looking to get back onto the middle. They have to deal with these soldiers who have set themselves up on high ground, getting ready to try and make something happen, get the force onto Auto. Just try and stall for time, honestly, because KO's not that far behind. He's only 70% as there we go. Joe bombs in and gets the Hugo force. Now Hugo is taken down as well. There's another guy, Gazzy, just on the flank, and that's 3 dead here for Team Joe, which means that they're lacking a lot of players, but they aren't lacking an Uber charge. They have to hold far back, though. You have to expect that this blue team, they're just going to do everything they can now, send in, take as much space as they can before this counter Uber comes out. Your red team now, you want to catch them out with this Uber. It's going to just come out through main here?
Yeah, they just go through the main door, they bomb in nice and low, but they don't manage to get much damage onto Auto, if any at all. He eats a sticky, jumps up to that battlement's area, is going to surf off of a pipe, and back through the doorway he goes, and manages to get back up with Boulder, and they just all survive this, and now they're going to start coming in towards this point here, and they do manage to take down KO across that point, clean up onto Philip as well, and Gazzy going down as well. Agent, the last man standing, he's going to try and make something happen here. He's entering full rodent mode in the lobby. Going to just take this 1v1 with Zoe. He's not going to be able to do anything on this last. Spawners do come in, but not in time. It's going to be 2-1 when with 4 minutes remaining.
It's 2-1 with 4 minutes remaining, which means it's still time on the board, but there have been so many lost pushes that have happened. So, like, let's just pretend... Let's pretend that the red team have been able to convert more than one last push successfully, and this is still very scary for the blue team, right? They can't really slip up that much. They just don't have that much of a buffer. Now, on to this mid-fight. Once again, it's just Papi taking the high ground this time, not bombing in super deep immediately, but it's a lot of damage onto Philip very early on. Both of these demo men dropping decently low, but now it's actually the high ground, and a rocket out of Hugo as well onto Zoe. Does a lot of work into denying the scout from taking the high ground, but 1 kill into Gazzy. Decent start now as Soldier bombs in. Doesn't quite get onto Auto, actually, instead, but they do manage to get the kill onto Ratslayer. Not enough, though. Just a demo man and a soldier alive. Philip doesn't hit
Zoe,
and Zoe kills everyone.
Zoe gets a 4K on the mid.
Yep.
Just, you know, he was just playing like Call of Duty Zombies then. He was just running around the last, no one was shooting at him. He was just shooting at everyone else. Like, he had a pretty free mid, to be honest, just dancing around everyone. So, very, very nice gameplay from him. But secures the mid, they get the kill into KO. Gaz immediately picking up the engineer. They're going to put the gun down on the right-hand side and just build it up as fast as they can for this Uber push to come in here. Now, we have seen full Uber ads get deflected previously, so we're going to see what they want to do with this one. They start getting healed up. Everyone's going to get a buff. Heading in towards the riverside by the looks of things, as this Uber's going to come through.
Uber now, as I find my unmute button, is just going to come in through river once again. There's a soldier standing on the nuke, as unfortunately everyone else is just going to run forward straight to the point. The Gazzy Pyro is immediately taken down now. The rest of the team, they're coming up. The focus fire finally comes through on the heavy. Philip just gets shot into his own river. And there we go. Hugo has the shot now. Now 3-1 on the board for Team Papi. 2.5 minutes left. And that makes it... is it mathematically impossible?
Yes. You can't do it anymore, yeah. Well, you can draw it, maybe, if you go fast enough. I'm not sure about the timings on this map.
I'm going to cast a curse this. There is no way that Team Joe come back into this game.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Boulder has got 4 dominations. The mental's already broken. Mid-fight is going to occur, though.
Yep.
We're going to see who can get some glory frags here. KO is on the low ground, very, very weak. Does manage to get that pack, though, and Hugo's going to need an arrow. Just gets two-shot by Boulder on the ground. There's nothing you can do to save his life just then. And they're just trying to batter everyone away. Agent on the low ground as well, unable to really do anything here. KO getting shoved off that high ground as well. They're starting to wrap around. Auto did, in fact, die on the mid, though, and they're just trying to flood in. They do not find KO in the end, and they're all going to survive here with these remaining red players.
There is no way that Team Papi lose this round and get taken to a 3-3 situation. There is not enough time. Surely it will not happen.
Surely not. I mean, they haven't got this mid cap just yet. Gaz needs to cap it out here. There's 20. They need to get the round in the next like 20 seconds in order to.
Yeah, they have like no time.
Yeah, in order to win or draw, or even bring to a golden cap. But I don't think that's going to happen. They're leaving the second cap again. Try and run to last. They got to try and find as many frags as they can. So he's handling the corner on the Putis. Shoots prematurely, gives himself away. He's going to focus down by Agent, and he could give away the round just now. They're going to get on top of this point. Agent still flash though. He's going to sit on the corner. Phoenix coming out secret, starts to blow everything up on this point, and the rest of the red team are going to come flooding in. They get on top of the cap, and they do get it. There's 50 seconds remaining. I do not think there's enough time.
They have 50 seconds. They have like 40 after the round ends to just go in and like put a scout on the midpoint like now. And then also sent the other scout onto the second point so that it caps as soon as everyone else is like 6-man stacked. And then they also have a roamer with the pain train on last to camp everything. So they get the round in like 30 seconds. But there we go. We're back on to the middle here. This is effectively dead time. That was a really quick round though. Scarily quick for Team Papi. Is there about 30 seconds more on this round timer? They would have been deep, deep trouble. Instead, now we're back onto the middle. Hugo sitting on the point, shooting upwards to Rex's scout. My man, just like me for real.
Yeah, every single soldier player in the server appears to be wanting to shoot rockets upwards today, but it looks like this game's going to come to a close. 4 seconds remaining on the old clock timer there, so it's going to be a win to Team Auto, Team Papi,
Team Papi,
Team Papito.
Yes, Papi takes the first map victory there against Team Joe, as the map's actually switching surprisingly quickly, as we will now be heading over to map number 2 of Entropy. Now, okay, here's the thing, Lucky. Normally, what we do after this cast, we take a look at some logs, we talk about the people that are performing really well, we talk about, you know, what went wrong, maybe for the teams, but I'm worried because this is not a team. These are pugs or mixes. And so a lot of the normal analysis about team synergy that we like to talk about doesn't work. So now I'm worried.
We've got one thing we can talk about. How well do you think the map performed in its stationary state?
I am worried because I think we saw two sides of it. One side is that we did see a lot of pushes back and forth. We saw that last was pushable. My worry is that maybe second and middle aren't. And we did see we saw a lot of attempts to try and get in onto second, which seemed really difficult. Because yes, there's this sort of weird angle on the flank that you could take onto the sort of balcony area, but you're standing behind a wall, which makes it really easy to splash into. I actually saw something very similar in the middle as well, in that catwalk area. The red team took so much damage just rolling out, getting onto it, and KO basically had to take the pack immediately. That being said, guys, I might be a caster. I'm not an authority on maps. Don't listen to me. I'm just being scared because I've seen it all before a few times at this point where people are like, this will make the game faster, and then it does the complete opposite when put into European players' hands.
It's time to talk about it.
What's up?
If we got threatened before this game. Basically, Dom said that if we didn't cast the game, that he wouldn't feed us. We're currently trapped in his basement. Someone send help.
Yeah. Undisclosed location, Germany, please. If we could blink, we would be. But unfortunately,
not possible.
Nope.
Yeah, but I think the map does need like a few tweaks. I think the second is really the only problem. The midfield is really nice because it's got that granary effect without being too tall and not feeling like your medic is immediately going to die every mid like it does on granary. So I feel like you solved that nicely. But with the second sacking into last, that is a true problem. Like maybe the doorways need to be higher.
Yeah. It did feel, like, what do you do? How do you sack onto last? I'm trying to think about it. How would you go about this? But also, here's the thing. Yeah, I mean, we're putting this map, we're putting Subbase up to that test of how do you sack into last. But when you really think about it, how do you sack into process last, right? Like, that's also kind of annoying. Second onto Gully Wash, also kind of annoying. Second onto Snake Water, forget about it. You know, like it's kind of.
Yeah.
Might be putting it to too high of a standard. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I think that it definitely needs some tweaking in terms of like maybe you just change some of the angles of the doors so that you can speed shot through a doorway. Maybe think about how you can jump through some doors. I mean, this is very hard to do. Like if I was talking at Yillen, you know, it would be like that seems to be like the key problem. Just the pushing into last aspect of it. Pushing into second, not too bad. I feel like on second there is a lot of like kinds of plays you can pull off to make stuff happen. So I like that a lot, and I like that you can push off of last into second as well. But the pushing from mid into second, we did see a lot of stalemates there, but I feel like those could have been solved with some other creative aspects. You know what I mean?
All right. Now, Lucky, we've talked about Subbase a little bit. We might be returning to it a bit later, depending on how this map number 2 goes. But let's talk a little bit about the other map in the cup, which is CP Entropy. Now, Lucky, have you played this map?
I have, in fact, played this map, yeah. It feels like I'm playing Koth Kong with 5 CP.
Yeah? I can see that.
Yeah.
Please elaborate, actually.
Yeah. So the map has the sort of like similar feel with the apartments and stuff, and just like when you run around it and stuff. It's got like you can surf on the or slide along that wall at the top as well, which is a little bit of fun. You can get some cool soldier bombs and stuff. So I feel like the mid, it does feel very wide, but the high bombs that you can sort of be rewarded with, definitely strong. I think you kind of have to play it like you know when I mentioned it's kind of like Sunshine.
Yeah.
Sort of without Tetris. It kind of does have Tetris, but minus Cafe, is what I should have said. So you can't really stand on another bit of high ground. There's not really anything else you can sort of play around. We are now going live, but what do you feel about this map before we go?
I think one thing we have to watch out for immediately coming into the mid-fight, that one of the natural ways to roll out on this map automatically land you on the middle, but with a low ground as you're pushing into it. Can it make it a lot harder to actually try and make space, try to get in onto middle? See now Phoenix and Papi both rolling out, Rat Slayer as well. Both teams, they make their way onto the middle. But you can see here, all the red team, Team Joe, are just on the low ground. But does it matter if Philip hits a lot of types? So much damage is dealt, and it's just a 3k for Philip. Phoenix forced to watch as everyone on his team just gets kind of annihilated.
This is what I mean about this mid, though. It's actually really nice in terms of like the counterplay you can get as a demo. You've got when you roll out in that lower door, it kind of feels like Reckoning. You know, you can shoot up at the point or at a crate, and you can shoot up from lower, and you can land some nice pipes and stuff because you are effectively on hyper low ground, so you get some nice little angles. Now we're in this weird lobby area. Now I have no idea. It feels so strange to me, Juan. I don't know about you.
The ceiling is so low. It feels like if you're... Alright, we'll leave that till later because now the push is actually coming in as here we go. It's a kill onto Zoe to start off with. The Zuba actually hasn't found too terribly many things here. Instead, now Phoenix is going to try to bump forward, try to get that kill onto KO. Doesn't quite make it work, and now the soldier bombs are coming forward here. Cap time onto the point, and the blue team are stuck in that spawn door. They're stuck in the respawn queue, and it's a 1-0 for Team Joe here on CP Entropy. 2-0. Team Happy also lost CP Entropy in their round 1 game. To come back to the lobby, because I really want to say this because I think this is a really good metaphor. The lobby coming into last on this map, it feels like, you know, in Minecraft when you like build your houses with the roof too low?
Yeah.
Where it's like instead of like 4 or 5 blocks
instead of 3,
roof height, it's like 2 blocks.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It just feels like claustrophobic, I believe is the word you're looking for there, without using Minecraft as an analogy. But Hugo on the right-hand side does get battered a bit and can't find Alpac anywhere, so they have to leave. But Phoenix is in through the flank, gets on top of KO this time. Gaz does manage to get murdered as well, and Hugo also in that respawn queue very early. Ratsair does get caught out here a little bit too far forwards, but Agent looking to salvage here, runs in, just gets immediately deleted, and Phil, lone survivor, going to jump around and whiffs his jump and dies as a result. So a comeback around here as the capture goes through.
KO just eats a random... It feels random from his perspective, right? Radslayer just shoots a well-timed pipe onto him, just ends up kind of getting taken down. Now Gazzy setting up a gun here behind the wall here. maybe look to move it a little bit later on, but there's a Boulder just already on the cap. One soldier bombing forwards here. It's Joe electing to use the shotgun, try to deny something, but doesn't actually make it work now. Heavy dropping it down to the low ground here. Let's take down Boulder. As the rest of the blue team, they're actually not with the rest of that scout there. Wants to go in. Now Phoenix finally gets a jump forwards. There's decent damage to the Demo Man, and the cleanup finally come out. The soldiers do so much work, and the rest of the team follow it up. It's a 1-1.
Auto just was in behind the point, smacking the Heavy with arrows, and then walks up behind KO, hits him with the head twice, and sandwiches him between the Demo Man and him. So incredible stuff there from Auto, and he just pincered them on last with the medic. I mean, I can't say much else, but I've got to say as well, with this map, it feels very stylized on this mid, and I really like how moody it is.
It does. It looks like... Never mind. I like the way it looks at
Kong.
No. It looks like, you know when you go to an Ice Series LAN in beautiful Birmingham?
Oh yeah, that's
and you
like
have to take a train
weird
like
smog.
through Birmingham?
Yeah, and exactly.
Yeah.
Bomb onto KO though, he gets immediately annihilated. Papi going down as well. Counter frag there on the Rat Slayer, but Philip and Joe are so weak that them fighting here is basically out of the question. Phoenix and Boulder are going to be fighting against Joe as well. Looks like he does get the bomb in, lots of damage, but doesn't quite get the cleanup in the end. And Hugo is still alive. He's full HP, and the rest of the blue team are very much not, but he's going to opt to just stay alive here and just be a nuisance.
He's a little bit of a sneaky boy here, but I wonder if he can actually manage to make anything happen. He's kind of sitting around, hiding in the corner. This map, we're talking a little bit about Subbase, maybe not having too many little nooks and crannies to hide in. Entropy is almost the complete opposite. There are a lot of tiny little holes that you can go into if you are a roamer, aspiring to be a rodent variety of roamer, or potentially a scout. Who am I to judge? Maybe you could be a rat as well, on the scout class.
There's gubbins everywhere, dude. There's stuff all over the place in this map, and it's just kind of, you know, you can put weird stickies here, there, and everywhere, inside of things and on things, and you know, this is the kind of thing that you look for in TF2 maps. I mean, how many times on Gully Wash have you had to rely on those weird little buttons on the wall for sticky traps? As they start pushing in here, blue team just battering, ramming their way into second, and they have managed to get behind into lobby here by the looks of things, and they're going to start flanking around, and this weird Badlands Spire-esque second is getting blown wide open as Boulder finds the kill onto Agent on the point. Rat Slayer gets ran down by Gazzy, but they're going to make their residence on this second point here, and Boulder's going to try and take a 2v1 versus Gaz and Hugo, and now Joe is going to start joining the fray. Joe has shown himself first, and now Auto seeing one player. Boulder on this high ground does manage to take down Hugo first, and he's going to move back, receive some more healing, but gets two shot by Gazzy. Bomb comes in from Joe. Uber gets popped here from Auto, just trying to link up with Zoe, and they do so, gets Joe down. And now it's going to be Gaz trying to fight a 1v2 against an Uber player and a Papi. Can't win that one out. Agent's going to retreat. Phoenix is in behind him as well. Trying to take that fight now in lobby. Looks like Phoenix is actually going to have to run away from this one.
There's a reason, Papi. We made a lot of jokes at Arcadia Line about Papi poaching Zoe onto Witness Gaming. There are a few photos taken very late Sunday evening of Zoe happily signing a Witness Gaming contract. He's a pretty good player. We sort of put the highlights onto Boulder. Honestly, I think if there's a breakout scout recently, it has honestly been Zoe. Zoe's been playing such a good season.
Yeah.
Played such a good LAN as well, showing up a little bit here as well. It's nice to see.
Yeah, got to talk about Phoenix as well. He's been playing in, like, you know, Prem and Div 1 and stuff, but he is a very, very solid soldier at this point. Like, originally he was playing Scout, if you remember, but he is so good on soldier. Go check out his YouTube channel if you get a chance as well. Some sick soldier clips that he's got. Wan, he's even better than you.
That's not true. I'm amazing at soldier. Smile. Playing mid next season, soldier. It's going to be big. As Uber charge, it just force comes out of Joe. He gets up to the top and just kind of happens to get a medic just straight in front of him, drops down, gets two rockets, gets the force out. Now, big advantage for KO here. As I wonder how they convert. There is actually a lot of space to cover, but 2 kills to start it off. It's kill to Zoe, kill to Papi. It means that now a team of Joe, they have an angle to try and go forward. So it's about to complain about how many nooks and crannies you have to clear to try and get your team out here onto the middle. But there we go. They managed to get it forwards. A lot of kills as well. They don't even have to pop the Uber. They can keep it rolling onto second. 60%. Auto just set up. Do they have it in time? 70 percentages.
They do the fake call. Let's see if they buy it. It looks like they're not buying it, and going to be trying to walk in here, but they're just holding on top of Spy, and there's so much space for them to move around in here on second. They just run all the way across to the other side of second to get as much Uber as they can. Auto does get it in the end, and this Uber charge is now going to be in favor of the blue team as they start chasing along. KO is actually just caught on second, sort of. They don't know where he is. He's run away.
This is such a weird fight. This is Soldier in the pain train here in the backline's Joe. He's trying to force the rest of the blue team back by time. Zoe does take the 1v1 with Gazzy on the flank, but in the meantime, I mean, kill into Phoenix as well. It's a decent start. Joe is still behind. He probably will never just take the fight straight up. He just has to distract, make sure that the red team could just come in off of his distraction. There we go. The rockets onto Zoe as well. He's found kills, and now to kill onto Ratslayer. This is a disaster.
Oh my God.
4 Team Papi, they're stuck onto the low ground.
Run, Auto, run! Never mind, he's chosen the life of fighting.
Wait, he's still alive. What's going on?
He's just chilling out. He's taking arrows at Hugo.
Okay.
He's on the wrong side of the fight. So the red team now flooding into last. Cap this one out. It's just around on the board. 1-1. Yeah, it's Auto with some insane medic gameplay. Definitely a top pro medic.
Yep. Shout outs to Auto.
Could have just killed Minded, go out to last. But no.
Do you know what, Lucky? I think Auto's better at medic than you are.
Wow. That can't be true.
Surely not. Surely not.
Surely not. No, the mid fight's ensue. Wan, let's see what they can do. Ratslayer rolling out on the low ground here. He's stolen Phil's strategy as both teams now rolling out from lower after that first mid where everyone's got PTSD from getting 2-piped by Phil.
Yep, Philip has done a lot of work. Now, finally, the bombs are coming in out of Happy, and Phoenix immediately kill on to KO there. Now, Gazzy is going to go down as well. This is looking pretty nice for Team Happy here. It's one scout with Agent Spice trying to clean up, make something happen here. But now he's just on the low ground here. The soldiers, they should be able to clean everyone up. Those soldier bombs were looking mighty fine.
Well, looking mighty fine indeed. That's what I mean when you can sort of do those high bombs and stuff. Like, you can sort of slide all over the place and you can just high bomb off of things, hide on low ground. There's lots of places that you can sort of go from. I think the second, I'm not sure how I feel about it. It feels like we've copied and pasted Badlands and just put some extra stuff in.
It does have very Badlands-esque stuff. You have a balcony, you have a lobby that's really hard to push into and is weirdly claustrophobic. You have a last that's weird. As now the Uber charge is just going to come forward. So the sentry gun is still up, actually not taken down by the initial sticky spam. Might come back to bite the blue team a little bit because they have to spend so much time, extra time dealing with it. As now the heavy on the backside of the point is taken down because he's not connected with the heavy. Instead, 2 kills here onto Striker, onto Phoenix. Now without the Israelis, this blue team are just looking to back off. They don't have the health, they don't have the space. Pappy goes in and everyone actually on the red team as well, so very low. Boulder is only one alive with Auto, and Auto is just going to send Boulder on his merry way. Try to see if he can make a miracle happen here. It's decent damage on the Nope, never mind. He's loose cannon.
Absolutely not. Just double donks him. That's it. Push over. But KO manages to survive that entire fight, and Phoenix is going to have to try and run away from the choke here. And KO does have that full 100% Uber, but Pappy is looking like he's going to be shooting a rocket to back up at a high ground. It's something he's getting used to doing, but Zoe's running like a psychopath and has died. The cap doesn't come through. Pappy hits the uphill rocket into their face. Hugo is in behind there onto Boulder and Auto. They do manage to get a lot of damage down, but it gets cleaned up in the end. KO's super weak. Does hold on to this Uber for even longer, but as a result, holding on to it, he might drop Phil here. Phil gets super weak, and Auto has managed to build his Uber. Phil onto 1 HP, but Boulder gets that frag, and now it's just so much better for the blue team.
This Uber lasts for such a long time because it is a scout solo, but does it really matter because it looks like there's just so many kills coming out of it. Rat Slayer was in against 3 people on second behind that rock, trying to get the kill into KO, and didn't manage to find it, but it just lived for such a long time that it allowed Team Pappy to come back in. And now they're on last hit. You can see Pappy, he's on the high ground shooting rockets, but there's no space being created off of it. So they just kind of have to back out once again. Tiny advantage here for Auto, not that big, as now Zoe has to be so careful here. They lose 2 now. No soldiers for the blue team, but should just be backing right out. Wait, no, Zoe. Nah. Nope.
Nah.
Nope, doesn't get it.
Time date on the cap right then. That was quite a lot of capture time. But also as well, did a very nice surf, escaped out of second, and has managed to get supercharged as a result, and now they're just going to run in. Looks like they want to do an exchange here. Bolt gets super weak, they nearly get struck, but looks like they do manage to get the kill onto Phil. KO doesn't quite have his Uber just yet, gets super weak. Rockets come flying in, but he doesn't eventually get that Uber charge and just pop it straight away, but can't do anything with it other than survive. So they're going to be running back out of mid. The chase is on. It's Papi and Boulder versus the world as they go diving into second, and they feed that life away.
I mean, Zoe did such a good job of keeping the red team back and keeping that backup going, even getting the kill onto Joe as well. Now Gaz wants a bit of a frag video of his own, but he's down to 10 HP, trying to make it work against all of these players. He kind of has to do a lot to keep his team in this game right now. Also has such a big advantage here as well. Gazzy is just sitting on top, cannot go for the back cap, and the blue team is just pushing in the meantime. There we go. So many kills coming across from the blue team. Sticky's onto the point. The soldier doesn't do that much. The scout is on a point, but not quite. It's 2-2 here. Even score. 17 minutes. Anyone's game here.
Yeah, it seems to be, rounds are passing a lot faster on this map, and I feel like you can sort of like prod into last a lot easier, because the last and the lobby are so claustrophobic, but that, you know, there's a lot of attrition in those areas where, you know, they're just spamming at each other the whole time and someone eventually dies and a push happens. So the one thing you do need to look out for, though, is this mid fight, as it's definitely the one that is most 50-50.
It does seem very 50-50 because it is just so fast, right? There's not really any high ground you can sort of sit and lead the enemy team out on. Instead, the aggression is just coming out of Team Happy here immediately, but they lose their medic. KO has managed to stay alive, but for how long? He's just not really with any of his team because the rest of his team is just getting taken down instead. Dust Hugo alive here on the flank. Does not find anything other than a kill onto Papi. Crucially, though, both medics did go down here.
Yeah, they did indeed. But also it's going to be respawning at the same time as KO, because it's going to be even, and looks like blue team are going to retain this mid, and now we're going to see a second hold, maybe. Zoe's already poking and prodding, but we've not really seen that much holding of second because of how much these teams have just been running at each other this whole time. And if they even want to do a stalemate, as Boulder is running through a doorway, but Phil is there to trap it off, loads of damage hell, Auto goes down, Rat Slayer's destroyed, Boulder's destroyed, and they're just all going to die trying to come in here. And Lone Survivor is going to be Zoe, and he's managed to get behind into lobby. I'm not sure what they were thinking.
That is an absolute disaster. A little bit of a head scratcher there for Team Happy. They lose everyone. Auto gets taken down at the very beginning of the fight. They just don't have any heals. They don't have any positioning. They're going to get forward spawns here. Oh no, Hugo. This is the most disgusting flank I've ever seen in my life. I saw like 20 just blue outlines right in front of him. Auto's just going to walk into him. They get another kill. This is such a huge advantage here for the red side as they once again have 100% advantage. Boulder also tries to play the hero, taken down by Stickies. Rat Slayer is dead. This is a disaster for Team Happy.
Yeah, pretty bad. I mean, cool as it is, 200% add. What are they going to do? They're just going to run into last here. They use off the Uber just for the logs, and now it's 3-2. And rounds going by very, very, very quickly. Analyzing this is just that second seems to be just a massive DM fight, and I kind of like that, because there's a lot of stuff like that can happen. You can flank around, you can do high bombs, you can just walk in and play a long fight and just shoot up into the high ground. You can do XYZ number of things, so it's very, very interesting to see it get played by these teams and how they're deciding to push, but it looks like that this red team seems to have it on lock.
It definitely has been going their way, especially that last time around. Now, this time around, it's going to be Zoe taking down the Papi, and Phoenix bomb comes out. Papi doing a little bit of a fake bomb, actually chooses to go back to the point, but that means that Phoenix gets taken down. Now, no Demo Man for the blue team either, means that they are just so far back. It is Papi, and it is Auto. Philip, it just gets dropped in onto Papi, who's not even with his medic. He just chooses to hide in a corner instead, get the kill onto the enemy Demo Man, but Auto! Sniped there by Agent Spice towards the end, almost got into spawn, but instead he's taken down by the scattergun scatter shot instead.
Ooh, Chaos Force.
Ooh, the Force
out on second, yeah.
Oh,
Phoenix,
this is
Phoenix
nice.
spawns in. KO gets juggled a little bit, and the rocket comes towards him, doesn't actually hit him, and he just uses. And it was kind of like a, if he hits the air shot, he drops kind of job. Into second now, blue team heading in. Auto looks like he's now on the high ground, getting spammed quite a lot, eating a bunch of damage, but they don't manage to clean up on the frag onto him. Agent, in fact, going down here for extending into him, trying to get that frag. And Zoe on the flank here, taking a 1v1 with Gaz, and Gaz has wind on one out, but Papi's there with the cleanup, and they get onto second. Capture Sun comes in, Blue team's going to reclaim this one.
Blue team managed to take a good fight. Now, it is even Ubers, but there is no red team on that middle at all. It should be a free red point for the blue team. The question is now, even Ubers, you're holding second on a red team. They have a round advantage here. It's about 12.5 minutes left on the clock at the end of the world. If you are the blue team being down one round, but you do have to start making things happen. I wonder how you do make things happen.
I mean, we'll see with these even Ubers. Is this the first time we've had even Ubers on second, or have they just fought it out before?
I think we've had even Ubers before, and they have just like decided to DM. It's been like a soldier sack into like, and everyone is now sacking actually.
Yeah. So this wide door didn't work before because Phil is just standing on this high ground. As soon as they try and walk through that door, he just rains stickies on them, and they just all have to. They either have to use the Uber or they just die. So this long, I'm going to call it main, the one next to the truck. That door seems impassable because of, like, you know, you stick a soldier on that truck and then the doorway just gets clogged. So this top right door and this lower door, though, do seem like you can sort of slip in. Boulder, though, tries to get in through. Papi does manage to slip in and is now in behind on lobby. Taking a 1v3, does a lot of damage, but doesn't manage to kill anyone.
That kind of feels like it is kind of the Roma way sometimes, where you take a really big 1v3 and you hit like 2 rockets, but on 2 different people, so you don't get anything out of it. Instead, Papi is just going to get taken down. Has actually killed the Hugo hit. They're looking to try and sort of make a repush hit. Yaz has found a onto Rat Slayer. That's a really nice start here for a fight on the red team, but the Uber's just going to come out and it wipes down 2. Joe, Philip both get taken down by Boulder here. Now Zoe is weak on the flank, but he's just going to come right back in. He is rodenting right now. Running around, the rocket comes out.
Oh my god.
Phoenix is dead. Actually, no, he's not. But KO is to Phoenix. Instead, Agent Spice now take it down. 3 up. Neither of them is a medic. None of them are medics on this red team. And it looks like maybe Team Papi. Honestly, this has to be in the bag. Surely.
This is a script. They definitely win this one. Papi's running in. They do a lot of damage. Gazzy has managed to catch a respawn and lots of damage on Phoenix. Phoenix is shooting the med for some reason, unsure why. They're going to start getting on this cap. Hugo's running in through the secret. And Pyro is coming out. Agent's got the respawner. Reflex stab rocket away. Auto and Boulder here going to have to run away through the rat tunnel. And they're all the way out. And they don't manage to claim that one.
Alright, we need to stop cursing.
Cast to curse, yeah.
I don't know how to stop it, but like, I need to figure it out. Because alright, here's the thing, right? Everyone is like, oh, you have to be neutral as a caster. That doesn't exist. You can't be neutral as a caster, but at the same time, like, being biased is cursed the team that you're biased for to lose every single time. So, like, maybe you just shouldn't. There's an Uber charge coming out. Like, that fucking the double dunk on to Zoe completely destroys the push. There is no one here. It's actually, I mean, I say that. They managed to kill KO anyway.
Gazzy. He's on 1 as heavy. Oh my god, you're gonna eat the sandwich on the point. He's having lunch.
Nom nom nom. Alright, the push. Alright, Papi's feeling it. He wants to go back in. He has to be careful, not be baiting auto here.
Somebody, please bring back banners. That's what we need.
Yeah, we do. Any. This is why we need to bring back the buff banner.
I love the buff banner. It's great. Takes forever to build. Whenever you get to use it, it's fantastic. No actual bonuses. It's just what you want.
My favorite part of I-69 was when I was watching the upper bracket final. No, the lower bracket final with Cadus of Witness Gaming versus TF2 Easy, and Papi was trying to build his banner. Cadus getting angry at the angle that Papi was using to build the banner, and he spent like 5 minutes telling me about why it was a bad angle to build the banner. As this time around, Uber's actually come in once again.
Oh no!
It's actually, I mean, it's a lot of damage here onto the point. Phillips just sitting there, decent stickies, but now he's gone down. There's no HP on this blue team at all, but it is enough. And it is now a 3-3.
So interesting. Like, as soon as Auto gets double donked, there is a player in all of the nooks and crannies, like on the floor. There's like 5 or 6 areas they've got players in. I feel like they just do a starfish on the last and end up everywhere. It's kind of insane how they managed to win that one, and they just spread the damage and make it so they have to like turn around. They're playing from the point but getting shot from everywhere, and it's very interesting last.
Yep, it's cool. I enjoy it. It's definitely different. It is kind of giving me Badlands Lost vibes, which might conjure images of fear and terror in a lot of people's eyes, but look at this bomb off the middle, though. So quick. Kills onto basically everyone on the red team. There we go, it's a wipe. They do manage to get that one kill onto Auto, but I'm not sure that can do too much of anything here. It's so much space for the blue team, and surely these guys have played the game enough to where Papi and Phoenix and Zoe can find them a nice little comfy corner to be funny in.
Yeah, do funny things, do hilarious things, but in onto lobby. They've got Phoenix just poking around. They've managed to claim on second, and they've got Auto back alive, healing up his team. So see what they can do here. But it looks like the red team, they do want to pressure super hard here. They're kind of covering all of the doors at the same time. Now going to start retreating back to last, and Joe is the first casualty here. Does go down. Maybe get a pick onto Zoe on the other side though. He does manage to survive everything in the end. Pyro just walked through the shutter. You got to be worried about Gazi Pyro.
You have to be. This is a legendary Gazi Pyro, and it is very scary. He actually scouts out the enemy team, trying to make the push happen. Papi is just going to get taken down. Actually, the Pyro is kind of weak here. Philip is taken down now as well as the Heavy. Just do a lot of work, but there we go. He's in the zone now. Just going to suppress his mouse one on the enemy demo man, and Rat Slayer is actually dropped down dangerously low. Instead, Zoe, he's found a kill on to a one. Hugo taken down by Boulder as well. Now the counter is going to come in. Uber popped. It might just be a Putis solo here, as Boulder says, okay, you can flash your Heavy. I'm just going to go kill everyone else. Doesn't actually manage to find any kills. He's going to run around the map. No one can find him. There we go. Counter pressure onto the point as well. KO is so confused. Where do you stand? Because there's players everywhere. And now soldiers are trading onto this high ground. Happy needs to find some rockets. He needs to find a rocket jump out of there, actually. Doesn't manage to get it. Now Auto should be dead as well. There we go. The red team, they managed to hold on.
Did decent. They get out on second as well. 3-3 still the scoreline. 5 minutes remaining. One. It's still all to play for here, so see what they can do. Capture goes through, and all the forwards, well, most of those forward spawners come out for the blue team. They have got Auto, who's on a 6-second respawner, but there has been a back spawn, so he's going to start waiting for his medic in the spawn queue. But red team heading in towards mid, see what they can do. Running in, Zoe is up on the sniper. Watching whiffs his one shot and one opportunity that he got here there on the mid. Onto KO, hits a body shot and doesn't get much else.
When presented with the one moment, the one opportunity, and if he would capture it or if he would let it slip, he lets it slip, which is a shame.
He didn't want it. He just didn't want it.
He just didn't want it.
Well, he does want it for map 3.
Do you think we are going to a map 3? We're in a weird situation right here, where there's a fight happening on second and everyone's dying all over the place, and I don't know what's going on. Everyone is taking so much damage. There is a red team on the high ground right now. And, yeah, I mean, once again, it's Zoe finding kills on to Joe, as, there we go. A little bit of an advantage here for KO. I don't think he can actually manage to convert it, at least not right now. Might be looking to push right back in here. They're sitting really close to choke. It looks like they probably want to go in. Rat Slayer has to be careful. You just get a scout onto him. There we go.
Yeah.
Agent Spice manages to find that kill onto Rat Slayer. Now we need some counter aggression here as well, because Auto is sitting at 85% Uber. There are players on this Spire area on the blue second, as Soldier jumps forward. Papi doesn't hit the air shot, but the pipe's actually out of Philip, does connect. Uber now comes out of Auto, but there's players on last hit. There's just one Agent Spice running around, and it forces them back. They can't take the Uber forwards, and instead, blue team have to deal with this demo man in the tunnels.
I was thinking about saying something on second in that original fight, and then it got caster cursed before I even said it. And then I was going to say another thing, and then that one thing got caster cursed, even though I didn't even say it. Like, it's just terrible. Like,
your mind is so powerful.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to say anything. Auto just gets murdered. This is why I do play-by-play. Papi also in onto KO. Doesn't manage to find the frag, though, unfortunately. Gaz is going to be running into lobby. They managed to cling onto second. KO with 92%. It is an uber advantage here that they can push into last with and potentially get the round win to close out this game, potentially. Well, KO's just sitting in lobby, getting pistol whipped down, baiting Zoe in a little bit further. He is going to need a pack, but they have so much advantage, they need to buff up their players and get ready to push.
Managed to get a kill onto Boulder. Boulder goes in behind, tries to do something about that damage onto KO, but instead gets taken down himself. Now, not only did Team Papi have to hold this, have to hold it with one player down. Heavy on to the point already as the Uber charges come out, haven't immediately found any players. Instead, now, damage onto Agent Spice. It's both scouts traded here. The Heavy is taken down from Zoe. Now, there's a lot of red players on to this point, but they haven't actually managed to find anything. The health is not looking that good for them. It's just Philip onto the top finally. Sticky's coming forwards onto the point. It's a scout there as well, but he's cleaned up by Phoenix. Now Boulder is very low. It's actually just KO running forwards onto the point. Philip is still just sitting on top, trying to hit pipes from afar. And it just gets taken down.
Yeah, the red team also did the same thing. They executed the starfish strategy. They were just in every single doorway, like spread out all over the place. So, nearly making it happen. Not as good focus fire as they had on the blue team though when they deployed the similar strategy. But Gaz is hiding in this weird little forward spawn cranny. Have you seen this? Oh, he's poking around.
Oh,
Rat Slayer walks up.
no. There's a Hugo on Spy as well.
I feel like he's waited too long.
Hugo on Spy as well behind. He has a lot of ground to make up for here. He's trying to sneak around, but I think honestly they're both kind of too slow. They meet up in the backlines as well. And then Philip is just taken down in the meantime. This is not a good situation.
Joe's behind as well
you
now.
have to look at the map timer as well. It's only 2 minutes. The backstab does come onto Rat Slayer. This is a decent pick. Kill onto the Demo Man. There's a lot less point presence. Instead, though, the heavy, because Philip isn't there, there's so much damage, but somehow they're just holding onto it anyway. Papi finds 1 kill. There's a couple more that needs to happen. No, he doesn't get it. Look at that round cap timer.
Oh my good lord. They just all flood in. There were so many players in mind. They only just salvage it. They managed to get all the way back to last. This kind of stuff you don't see very often. When 1 minute 30 remaining, it feels like we're going to a golden cap unless something tragic happens.
I mean,
the KO has full ads. They have all the opportunities here. Running into choke. They get auto this time around, and they get Phoenix as well. So they're going to start moving in. Zoe is in the backlines looking to do some rodenting himself.
Zoe now just straight onto that point here. Tries to scout out the enemy. Does. He should probably realize that there's a bit of damage on the KO that should be called, but he's not able to go for it. Instead, now looking now on to a middle. Honestly, it's not the end of the world for the blue team. They still have a Boulder behind. Usually they don't have a scout with that medic. Actually, I was gonna say it's basically even Ubers, but now because Boulder isn't with his medic, there's a world where Coil can just kind of, or KO rather, can just kind of go.
Better not mix those two up.
There are 40 seconds left on this round here, as now there is just a red team coming out of lower here, trying to get in. They have an advantage. They have a player advantage as well. These soldiers are doing so much work here. They managed to catch Auto on the flank here. There's 1 scout on top, and there is just 1 round that needs to happen. They have 30 seconds to try and make this happen. 1 Boulder is hiding, and he has to make magic happen. Just gets taken down. Joe is already onto the point here as the bomb comes forward. 1 kill onto Papi, but there we go. The round is capped. I said there we go. A little bit early. I was a bit scared, but they managed to make it happen. There we go. Team Joe managed to convert it to a 4-3. 1-1. As we go now to map number 3.
Oh my. Sorry, Samus. You're going to be stuck with us for a bit longer.
Yep.
Yeah, we apologize. But are they going back to Subbase? Yep, back to Subbase, the superior map in my opinion.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I found that map a bit more entertaining than the Subbase game.
Definitely. Probably because, you know, on Entropy they were kind of slapping each other around a lot more, you know.
Yep. It was aggressive. I think both Blue Scouts are engaging in some rat behavior. They both go behind so often, all of the time actually. As someone needs to stop these men. Honestly, they weren't too effective. I feel like it's weird to try and rat scout the rat scout himself of Gazzy. I think if there's anyone that is sort of the ultimate rat scout, might as well be him.
Well, if Gazzy's the ultimate rat scout, then surely Rat Slayer will have something to say about it since he does slay rats. I
mean, is he slaying them though, or is he?
I don't feel like he's slaying the rats. I feel like he's a phony rat slayer. You know, like he's not doing a very good job of slaying the rats. But he is playing demos. So it's not really his job, but. The map did perform pretty well. I feel like the second, once it's like sort of cleaned up and stuff, you can see where like it was going on the second, like stylistically with that like big blown out hole in the side of an apartment building with some like rubble down one side is how I think it was meant to look, and it looks like a good map all in all. The second point I think is the only thing along with the lobby which needs to be a little bit more expanded. That's all I would say. Other than that, I enjoyed it a lot. Thought the last is really interesting as well.
Yeah, I like the last. I like that there's like a weird tunnel that you can take through lobby. Got
a lot of rat tunnel now.
Yeah. It is dug by a mole. like through the wall and in onto that last. I love it so much. I think at one point it used to look. I'm pretty sure I just decided to call it the vent because it's kind of venty.
It is kind of empty, yeah.
And you're venting.
Call it sus.
Let's not do that. Jesus Christ! Oh my God! I think this is a battle of who can.
I'll see myself out.
who can be the oldest person on the broadcast.
Yeah.
By making Among Us jokes in 2023. We're better than this, Lucky.
Amogus. Are we? I feel like we're not.
We're not better than this. I want to get messages from someone, be like, "Why are you doing this? Why are you still making these jokes? What's going on?"
Yeah, we're analysing right now, as our producer told us to stop. Yes.
Yeah. Production's angry at us now, which is it's crazy because the only solution that Samus has to us talking about this is just taking us off broadcast, which doesn't serve anyone. So
I mean, it'll serve the public justice, you know. God forbid they ever let us landcast together.
Please direct all complaints about the casting of this game to DumTum on Discord, as I'll frantically pull up his Discord. Wait, hold on.
This is why we rarely ever get put together in cast, by the way, Juan. There's too much chaos.
If you have any complaints about the cast, please message DumTum #4. I'm not going to do the rest on Discord, and
he just dox DumTum.
No, everyone has his Discord already, but I was like, you can just change it. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm sure he won't mind.
I just said the first number. The rest, it's okay. All right, Lucky. We've already seen Subbase once before. We're going into it again. Do you believe that we will see a different map result or the same map result? And then afterwards, please elaborate, because I don't know what to say yet.
Okay, so what I am going to say is, I'm going to preface what I say, by the way, for you ladies and gentlemen, and for you Juan, and for you Sam, that anything I do say will be cast accursed immediately. Because that's what happened all of last season. And all of my predictions were made off the statistics that I was given. So, statistically, this Pappy team won the last time, so surely they'll win it again, smiley face.
Surely this Pappy team, who have only in this cup so far won on Subbase, will take the victory on Subbase once again. Because currently in this cup, Team Pappy are undefeated on Subbase. And they also have a staggering 0% win rate on Entropy across a sample size of 4 maps.
Oh my god!
Wait, no, it's 5 maps. 5 maps. They are 3-0 on Subbase, and they are 0-2 on Entropy.
Wow, that's some serious loss rate that they've got. They need to work on that Entropy.
Yeah. They need to do some homework for tomorrow.
Yeah, God, how are they going to make it to day 2?
Are they making it to day 2? There is a day 2, actually, guys. Once again, I don't think we're casting tomorrow, but there is definitely going to be more of this cup. Once again, we have this last map here of Team Joe versus Team Pappy. This is the upper bracket finals of this Entropy Subbase Cup. And then tomorrow, we will have the lower bracket finals into the actual finals of this cup. Yeah. We'll see a lot more of this map, I think. More than as like a thing about like, this isn't so much about the players or the teams. This is about the maps themselves.
Yeah, it is indeed. But I believe when after this cast, that the production are just going to barge into our studio and yoink our Mike's office and say, "Get out, just leave." Something
I realized just now is I might. Never mind. I'm going to say nah. We're fine. We're fine.
All right, score predictions, Juan. What do you reckon score is? Last time we saw what was it, 2-1 or something?
It was 3-2. 3-2.
Yeah, 3-2. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna be brave and say this is a 3-2 for Team Pappy.
The same score as last time.
Yes.
I feel like they're gonna be warm now. 4-1. Wow.
Lucky. You know what I just realized for the first time?
What's that?
Go on the blue second. I finally figured out why it's called Subbase. It's because there's a submarine on second. Oh my god.
Yeah, did you know there's a submarine on last as well?
Wait, what? No
way.
Yeah,
go to the last.
No!
And look
it
next
makes so
to
much
Luke.
sense now! Oh!
How did you not know? It's
No.
called Subbase because there are submarines in it, you goon.
It's called snake water, and they didn't add snakes to snake water for so long. Like,
oh, good. Only the highest life forms. Yulin does really like his submarine.
Yulin is so smart. Wow. Hats off to
Yeah.
Yulin, the creator of this map. Hats off to Equal, the creator of Entropy, by the way. Shoutouts to them. It takes a lot to make maps. There's a lot of work. The hammer tool is reportedly absolutely awful to work with, but they have both braved it. As now, map number 3 of the Entropy Subbase Invite Cup. As now, Team Papi versus Team Joe. So Team Papi, they've beaten pretty much everyone they've played so far on Subbase. As we're heading on to a middle here of Subbase once again.
Looks like they're going to be doing a Sunshine-esque style of mid, just rotating around. No one wants to fight anyone at this moment in time. Taking the high ground now, Hugo going in for a bit of a high bomb, just fades away off that one as well. Also got a high bomb coming from Papi, he's going in. Phoenix is now committing in towards KO to get Phil down, but it looks like they're going to just crunch in this corner. They do lose both soldiers, but they do trade out a ton of damage, so they're going to start playing off of that. Hugo is still in the back lines, not very healthy though, so he's going to have to bomb in on minimal HP, but Gaz and Joe just going to be tanking in the front line. They do get the Uber very, very early. KO only on 96%. They need to land the shots, they don't find them at all, and the Uber comes out from the red side. They're going to chase down. Auto super weak. Now they have to clutch it out. Don't beef. KO whacks him in the face. Auto's still alive in the corner. Both of us go down. And they're just going to whack Auto to death in this corner. Bomb comes in from Papi. Papi finds the medic. They just flood in and they do manage to get a couple kills here. So Ratslayer on the low ground just get cleaned up with the Phoenix, the lone survivor. Holy God.
No one won that mid. I don't care who caps this. No one deserves that victory. That was absolutely disgusting for both teams. There was so much beef. It was like I don't know. I went to America. I don't know. Like everyone beefed everything, and somehow the red team got the round cap, or the mid capture rather. It's completely even Ubers as well. Like no one's in any sort of major advantage here. The only advantage is the red team that does have that middle capped. But this is where once again I'm kind of worried. I think it's this second worries me. And I am scared that the red team don't have an answer to sort of figure out how to bust this hold. So I'm looking maybe to go through the choke point here, the tunnel. I'm going to figure out what to call this.
It's right side area.
Yeah. That's good.
Sewer.
But it's on the left though.
Oh, the left side. Oh.
But it's also on the right side, depending on...
So if you're looking in, let's do it from looking from mid into second, shall we?
Yeah, it's on the right side then. There's a soldier popping.
Oh.
He just kills Auto!
Yeah, that's
Auto!
Decidedly.
Stands on the pillar and just gets taken down. Now, no medic for the blue team. It means that Team Joe can just look to push forwards here. That is a bit of a drop.
Unfortunate for Auto there, but standing up in that spot, Joe just writes in chat that spot has been figured out, and they just know what to do about it now. So, can't help but feel that if you hold behind the point on that grey concrete area, that you'd have a better time holding.
Yeah. Now, sniper up on a boulder. I think I don't like that spot anymore. The Uber now is instead just going to come right in. Phoenix is hiding into this lower area. Doesn't really know. Never mind. Manages to take a 1v1 versus Agent Spice. Does get traded out there by Hugo now. The rest of the red team, they're walking forward, but Philip hasn't actually found any pipes onto the heavy, so the heavy lives. And that's so much damage dealt by that Putis and manages to hold on to the point. So actually now Auto, big advantage here, walking onto second. No demo man for the red team either. They have to walk all the way back. Not sure they can fight this. Hugo might look to get a flank. Decent first rocket onto Zoe. Might get a second one as well. Gazzy's hiding as well in the corner. Kill onto Zoe means that Joe is now going to bump forwards. There's so many kills happening on the flank here. This is a disaster for the blue team. Yes, they might be actually able to... No, they're not taking second at all. This is just awful. Everyone's dying.
Oh, and they did manage to get back to last in time, though. And Boulder does have an Uber charge that they can use, but they have to sit on this point. There's not a lot else they can do about it. KO is just going to milk for high heaven. They have such a much better Uber, and a couple stickies actually on the point for the red team as well. So they're just going to cap this one out. It's going to be 1-0 already. The red team coming out in full force.
And Gazzy and Hugo do so much work on the flank there. They get behind, they completely distract the blue team. They had the sort of push coming out the flank, just kind of figured out, but then the kill to Zoe immediately. Hugo and Gaz combine, gang up on him, take him down, and kind of exploded from there, right? They kept exploiting their weakness on the flank. managed to convert it into a round. That push forwards as well. They were just split up so badly on the blue side. Now papi, once again, he's so fast, but this time he's taken down pretty much immediately. One soldier down for the blue team means that Hugo, in the meantime, can bomb in, but preserve his own life. He's in the choke, and he just bombs right onto Auto! Gets that kill, and that's the end of that middle. It's over before it began, really.
Hugo, absolutely god tier there. Incredible stuff from him, and they're going to get this mid capture and then start seeing what they can do here. They're going to have to try and play this as slow as they can to make sure that KO does not get bombed by anyone, but they've not really got anyone really in a position to do so. They're just both standing really far back, dual spamming this choke point with their rockets just to see if they can get any damage onto KO, but he's just delaying very nicely. The rest of the red team comes in. KO not a lick of damage to his name. They get to the point, and they're going to look to see what they can do pushing towards last, but that lock and load, very pesky. KO does catch one.
Catches one, but crucially not number two. Instead, it is such a big advantage for KO. It's actually decent damage dealt to the Demoman before the push even begins. Uber coming out now. Sentry Gun immediately taken down. Stickies are not cleared in time as Agent Spice just ends up getting taken down. But the Heavy is taken down. Boulder not there. The pipe comes in onto Auto as well. That's a wipe, and it's a 2-0 for Team Joe. They are looking much better on this map number 2 here of Subbase. Map number 3, rather.
Yeah, Phil absolutely demolished them on that last push. He just destroyed the Heavy, smacked him into the spawn, tons of damage, and then just walked at them, basically, into their spawn, and they couldn't really get past him. And then not much else to be really said about that last push. Phil just kind of carried them.
Yeah, nice stuff. As he hits his pipes, the Heavy dies, sticky bombs onto Agent Spice on the end of the world. They're able to convert it. Now, you can see on your screen we are paused, which is really cool. I love it when we pause. Lucky.
Yes.
What do we talk about now?
KO's cosmetics.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What is he wearing, actually?
Let's go with it.
Let's figure this out. Let me maneuver my way. Ah! Wait, green pumpkins? Hold on a minute.
With the goblin ears and the weird green eyeballs.
I think
very
those
interesting.
I'm gonna be honest, those eyeballs are probably the best cosmetic ever added to TF2.
Yeah, potentially.
They are so good for so many things. I'm so glad someone made them. I'm gonna be honest, don't own them myself, but they are great. They are magnificent. You can make some truly hideous loadouts.
You can, and that's all TF2 is about, baby. Yep, it's just a hat simulator. That's what it's called.
Yep, but like ugly hat simulator.
Yeah. Other honourable mentions for the server drip check is Phil, obviously. The Burning Flames hat. Very nice. He's got a sticky bomb launcher that matches it as well if you have skins on.
Oh my god, he's even coloured his pants to match.
Yeah, he's got the black shoes as well.
Oh my god.
Passing the vibe check.
Agent Spice has a Scorching Flames, but it is by far the most ugly scout hat in the game.
Yeah, I didn't want to mention. Blue team all looks trash. We're not gonna bother looking at them.
Yeah, blue team and a bunch of people that don't spend a lot of money on TF2. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, Gaz looks like Dave Grohl as well.
Yeah. Here's the thing, right? Okay, Lucky. Coming into this mid-fight, we've seen papi do one thing, and it's go forwards really quickly and aggressively. And it's making me worried, right? Because maybe the answer to this middle is that there's only one way to play it. It's to be really fast.
Yeah, just throw yourselves at the enemy. I feel like it's good, though, because it's kind of one of those run at them in the mid-last 20 seconds, and then you can maybe see one of those fabled 50-second rounds.
No, those never happen. Unless Yak is about to beat a French team 4-0, then they do happen.
Yeah, that's the only instance. If Yak is in the server and there are Frenchies in the server, then somehow the stars align and rounds happen.
I'm actually... That was it. If there is a game that I think should be more legendary than it is, that I have casted, it is probably Yak being up 4-0 at 10 minutes on Sunshine versus 3.5 stars. And then losing
I remember that game.
4. Shout outs to Yak.
I've got to say, his team has been doing a lot better. Like that stack they've got with Yak, Kayan, and that lot, they smack.
They are a lot better, which is nice to see. As much as I personally enjoy having a team to make fun of.
You just make no, not team to make fun of, Yak to make fun of.
Yeah, but like also the rest of his team.
Yep. Even bit.
No, but the problem is that KN has too much MGE elo to not be made fun of, and that's the thing, guys. If you want to be respected in the 6 vs 6 community, having over like I don't know, like 2,400 elo around that's worrying. Then you get into dangerous territory. Don't do that.
Yeah. Apparently KO has timed out, so we're -1 medic. That's the latest update that we've got. Aside from that, waiting on a medic is kind of poo. Because you never know what's going to happen now.
It's kind of annoying, especially if it hits like on the rollout. Actually, obviously we're in an SCV, so in a minute and a half. But let's pretend that there is that fabled like 1 minute 30 round. Medic times out. It's really annoying to deal with. Like at any time, losing your medic sucks.
I'm just gonna go into my calendar and cancel my evening plans and put myself in the nearest bin.
Do you have plans at what is it coming up?
Oh, I make plans into the night yet.
Why?
Because I want to watch things.
Aren't you asleep?
No. Sleep is for the weak, man. What do you mean? I absolutely go to bed at 10 o'clock every night, though. I'm an old man.
So it's actually... We only have 30 minutes left before Lucky has to go to bed. So his hoping...
old!
Unless, guys, if anyone wants to guest star on... No, never mind. I can't say that, because then Dum Tum will actually get messages, and that's scary. Or I will get messages.
Well, say it then, because it'll be funny.
Yeah, if you want to guest star when Lucky has to go to bed in 26 minutes, message Dum Tum, and he will get you on the broadcast, and you can cast with me for the last 20 minutes of this.
Actually, we can do a quick plug, can't we? If you would like to produce on TFTV, you can apply. We are probably looking for producers all the time. It never ends.
Please, desperately.
And if you would like to cast as well,
you might be sitting here thinking, "Wow, I wish anyone else was casting this game right now, besides these two guys. I want to cast, so it's not me." But instead, what you should be thinking is, "Oh my god, I really want to produce."
Yep, Dum Tum is threatening us now. Legal action. He's going to use text-to-speech with himself.
No, Dum Tum's adding 7 TV emotes. That's huge. Oh, ain't no way. Nice. You get some ain't no ways in chat?
Ain't no way.
I really like ain't no way. It's a great emote.
It's so good, yeah. It's almost good as...
How long can you time out for, realistically? What is he doing? Is he, like, resetting all of the internet in his house? I don't know, like... He has to get on the bicycle and, like, tread around a little bit, generate power. What's going on?
What would you do if this, if you're in the situation, they go, "Oh yeah, our med's timed out." And then it takes 10 minutes. Med still doesn't come back. Still no updates. What do you do?
I can win a game in 10 minutes.
Well, you're paused. You're stuck.
No, but I just type unpause in console.
And you just play the game.
Yeah. I win in 10 minutes and I go on with...
Swap onto medic 5v6.
Yep. Oh my god. I cannot believe that Dum Tum is finally adding 7 TV emotes after all this time. I've literally asked Dum Tum multiple times to just let me add some emotes, and he never lets me do it. I don't know why. I don't know what could possibly go wrong with me adding push emotes.
Can you make the game start, please? Thanks. Yes, Beta.
That's actually so true. Lucky, can you start the game, please? Jesus
yes,
Christ.
Sorry. I'm holding the game hostage, like
start
always.
The game. Start the game. Start the game.
Tournament more like... Tournament more like tournament, lol.
Start the game. Play. Hello? Any teams? Woohoo.
Yeah. You're everything I hate about Twitch chat.
I am too. I think, alright, here's the thing, Lucky.
Yep.
I'm gonna throw you a hypothetical.
Alright.
Let's transform in ETF12 into another fictional league that does not exist, that randomly decides that you are now playing a new map for next season. We are changing the map pool, and it is either CP Subbase or CP Entropy. And you have to pick between one of them.
Subbase.
To join the map pool. You pick Subbase?
Yeah.
Why?
I think Entropy needs too much doing to it. Whereas Subbase is very nearly there, you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
Like, it's clean. Number one, it's cleaner, and number two, it feels more 6v6y.
Okay, I can see.
Yeah.
That. Yes.
What about the rest of chat? If you're gonna say one that you have to do in chat, you've got to pick Entropy or Subbase. Which one? And
press 1 in chat for Entropy and press 2 in chat for Subbase.
Wow. We'll see if anyone actually listens to us.
No
I'm
one,
fairly
no
certain.
one's listening. They're just
They put the
emails.
server on mute. It's just done.
All right, well, one guy pressed 1. Two guys pressed 3.
There's some ones. 0.
Some guy pressed 0. That's not in the poll.
Dumb
Dumb
is
3
edgy
is
with
not
edgy
in there
with the
either.
3. Fireball with the edgy 3. 76 from Poi. Very bold.
None of these numbers are real.
There's a 2.
Oh, there we go.
It's a 14.
69 is not funny. I'm
Where
sorry.
do we put the mandatory waterfall? Over the submarine.
What? That's.
Oh! They jiggled. They moved a bit.
I've been informed that Mark, the legendary Mark, which, again, if you don't watch Prem, you will not know who Mark is, but Mark has been around for a really long time, is subbing in for KO on Medic. They should be getting him onto the server. KO's internet is unfortunately dead.
Oh, rip.
Much like my casting career after this game.
We're on pause.
We're going. We have 1 minute and 30 seconds before they actually pause the game themselves and swapped to Mark. So actually, we're just going to go into a mid-fight and pretend that nothing happened. Already, Philip just here on the low ground as both soldiers now. They're sitting on top of the high ground here. Scout actually taking decent damage, and Zoe's dancing across it. Tries to just dodge spam as Philip gets taken down with a combination of Boulder and Rat Slayer. Now, Rat Slayer, he's found himself a 2k. He's got a little bit of
Phoenix.
a lock and load as well. There we go. So much damage is dealt. It is a 1 Hugo alive on middle. Does take a 1v1 versus Zoe, but now he has to contend with the rest of the blue team, and he is dead.
The blue soldiers went absolutely ham on that mid, so just insane from them. Bombing all here, there, and all over the place, and KO's still on the server. I'm not sure how long he's got left until his net decides no more. But also has got an advantage here as KO did fall on the mid to some lovely Phoenix rockets. So we're going to see a last push most likely ensue.
It's a big advantage here as well. This is a good angle for Team Papi to try and crawl themselves back into the game. Now, Uber coming forward here. Sentry Gun needs to get focused down, and it is now. Need more frags for the blue side. There we go. That was KO just climbing out the corner. Gets taken down. Sticky bombs onto the point here. Heavy's up, and it's up really late. But there's just not any point presence. The heals going down means that is a round for Team Papi. It is now 1-2 with 22.5 minutes on the clock here, Lucky.
Oh wow, we do have a KO back in the server, but do you want to know a fun fact about KO right now?
Yes.
He's got syringe gun because he's got no item server.
Oh, nice. Nice, guys. Oh, this is perfect. What a good mid.
Perfection, yeah.
We're just heading out. Bows are for the weak, they say, this time around on the middle. It's Joe bumming into the flank here. They're taking it very slow on the red team here. Both teams, they were going so fast earlier on. Now instead, opting to slow down, trying to squeeze out high control. Instead, though, so much damage is dealt to Auto and Ratslayer. They're both taken down, but now KO is dead as well. It's Joe on 70 HP, but there's only 2 players alive here. On the blue side, Zoe and Papi. Papi, what's a 2-on-1? Gazzy gets
absolutely annihilated. Zoe is going to be running in here. Going to try and take this 1v2, but running around, things are a little bit different. They just get 2 rocketed down by Joe, and what can you do? And they're going to get this mid capture on the red team, and the rest of the blue team now, it looks like they want to go mid fight too. Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, they are taking the mid fight once again. We should just honestly maybe see a mid fight. It's even Ubers. I'm kind of worried. There's not really any positioning here for the blue team. It's sort of very far back. It looks like the red team, Team Joe, will just take control of the middle. Even Uber charges. Everyone's set up even. Where do you go now? You are the red team. You are Team Joe. You want to go forwards. Looks like maybe the soldier into the lobby. Hugo tries to get aggressive, tries to find that pick onto Phoenix on the flank. Doesn't quite make it work. Now instead, there is just a soldier in behind. It is Joe. He has been spotted out by Papi pretty much immediately, but he seems actually to be no, he's not winning the 1v1. Instead, now, there's more players just trying to push the flank here. Gazzy on the opposite side as well, but Papi now, he's found one kill into Joe. The bomb comes in. doesn't find Gazzy. Instead, Ubertrade has now come out.
What? Oh, no, Rat Slayer just gets pinged down into the floor and just eats loads of damage and goes down there. Now we've got papi at the choke. They're just trying to stuff it before a push maybe comes in because they are demo manless on the blue team currently. Looks like they are going to go through Catwalk here on the left-hand side, and in they go. They got to try and run in, though, against papi on the high ground. It's rather hard to do, but it looks like it's going to be bombing around on towards as many players as he can. Phoenix with a high bomb in towards Phil. Can't quite do anything. Other than kill Phil, actually. He does manage to get the full damage and kill him off there in the end. I didn't think it was going to be enough, but does manage to. Papi's going to be bombing in, taking some space on the mid, and the rest of the red team are going to have to start running away. KO getting spammed in the choke, is getting super low. Unfortunately, in the backlines, Gas runs in, picks up Auto and Rat Slayer, and is still alive, and the rest of the blue team now are just going to have to scatter across the mid.
This is so weird because now Zoe in behind as well gets the kill into KO. Is going to get taken down in the zone. But it's like they're trading medics for medics. They're all sending scouts behind, soldiers going in behind as well. You see now they're really liking this push straight into the lobby instead. You see Joe just manages to take so much space, get in behind, force Papi and a Boulder to try and come in, try to deal with him. As they take second now. Even Ubers. It's a player down for the blue team. They might not be able to contest this super early on. Never mind. They're breaking back out. There's one soldier in who's hiding in a corner, but Hugo doesn't find the kill onto Auto.
I have come up with a name for the right side flank.
Yeah?
Garbage. Because if you stand on mid and you look through the doorway, you just see that big dumpster.
That's perfect.
Yep.
I'm going to forget that now and just keep calling you the right side.
Nice.
You can see Joe, also known as Garbage, shooting through garbage. So he's just walking forward. So there's
garbage going through garbage. It's named after him now because he is holding that door. It's his.
Yeah, we are calling him Garbage because he used to be called that in ETF12. We're not shit talking him.
Yeah, he's
yes, you know. guys. We're not toxic. We're not toxic.
Right, we are now into a stalemate. Both medics have movement, they're both chilling out. Auto's decided for a different spot to hold in, by Garbage. Hugo's currently up on the sniper, they have seen him. But I think this is definitely the best place to hold if you're against the sniper, because it's the place that you can stand in with the least angles.
Yeah, I agree. They're actually peeking a papi in onto middle here. Auto, so aggressive. You could actually just pop straight onto middle, but it's 2 kills immediately. Phoenix and Striker both get taken down. No Zoe, no Phoenix. Makes it so difficult. There we go. They kill onto Auto out of Philip. Now, one scout in behind. It's just Papi getting cleaned up. One Rat Slayer is all that's left on the blue team. No one else is there. That Uber trade was, yeah,
disaster.
Yeah.
Heading into left side, and looks like they're going to be running down river into secret, and they are going to try and get on this point here. Is Agent, but just gets rocketed down by Phoenix. They do have an advantage to play with here. Joe's just going to jump out as well. They're going to try and get back onto second. Gaz is super weak right now. They do manage to get the pick onto Hugo, who was up on the sniper, and now they're just going to be taking this fight out of the shutter. Phil gets caught as well. Joe gets pinged around the choke. Phoenix with the flank. Everyone's going to die. Phoenix does manage to get killed off by Gaz. He respawn comes from Agent. But looks like they managed to successfully push onto second and are going to get more.
There was an arrow out of a KO there. It went through Auto's player model, but didn't hit him. It would have probably done enough damage to actually kill Auto, but Auto somehow barely managed to stay alive. I was watching that fight from Auto's POV. It actually looked like the arrow just went straight through him. I don't know how it didn't hit him. Instead, now, one comes to Zoe to start off that fight, but it's such a big advantage here for the blue team. They are looking to try and crack this second here.
Looks like Papi is going to be walking in here. Walks in onto Catwalk. Making his way in, just seeing what they've got set up here, and just making some switch receive. Hugo is in on Garbage right now, just jumping around, gets all the way back in towards Choker. Now the pressure is there. Also has to walk now into the second. We've got 2 players flanking around. Uber does get forced as Joe goes in for a bomb, and Phoenix now playing on Garbage against Hugo. Does manage to get that kill as well. Now the blue team are going to start claiming onto second on that Spire. Gaz going to be on Catwalk or near around Catwalk and just chilling out on mid. You can't really do anything.
Yeah. I mean, there's honestly a world where it just kind of waits for an eventual kill. It starts maybe spawn camping, honestly. You can see the blue team, they should probably realize that Gazzy's in behind. I'm pretty sure they've seen him as well.
Yeah, they've seen him. They know he's there.
Players going behind, but that gives such an opportunity here because KO does almost just have an Uber charge here. One comes Agent Spice. started off does slow down that push a little bit, but you can see they can take so much free space here just walking in on the second. There is no demo man to try and really hold second right now. Auto standing in a bit of a precarious spot as well. They want to get this force out on to the red team. Does the blue team, but papi, he's dropping so low as well. They're still taking this fight. They haven't got the overcharge, but once again, I mean, honestly, now Auto, he's 85%. He's going to have it so soon. One soldier dead, even papi now as well. Surely this is the end of that fight.
Phoenix nearly hits a crispy rocket onto Joe there, but
still behind.
Gaz is still on behind. He's been such a nuisance. He's been dragging like 1 or 2 players back, and that just opens up so much space in front to do things. And Gaz is taking that fight against Phoenix and doesn't manage to win that one out, and they're going to have to try and cling on to mid now as the red team. They know that there are players back for Gaz. They just go in through the doorway. Ratslayer gets murdered on mid, and now they're going to have to start trying to think about an Uber trade here across this point. Boulder just take this one into Phil. Lots of damage down. KO accidentally drops him, unfortunately. So now they're going to be demo manless on both teams as Ratslayer is going to catch his respawn relatively shortly, and papi going to be bombing around, seeing what he can do. Phoenix on the high ground as well. Gaz gets the clean up. He's back in the main line rather than in the back line, and papi goes super weak here. Does get that pack and is going to have to try and take this fight here, but looking to jump away most likely. Does manage to get away.
Gazzy is ending his world tour by just getting a 2k anyway. He was running behind for such a long time, comes back in, gets 2 really nice frags, and that should honestly allow the rest of his team. You see him, he's peeking middle. I'm not actually sure if he can get in. There's a lot of blue players here. He might be waiting his team a little bit, I'm going to be honest. There we go, Boulder now jumping forwards. There's a pipe onto Gaz as well. There we go, he should just be running right back out again. A 1 kill to Phoenix though. It's a decent start. Both these teams are looking to get aggressive. It is a bit of advantage here for KO. Not that much, but we are once again, we're going to have to start talking about the time a little bit. 14 minutes now for both sides here. It's papi taking a trade with Hugo on the flank there, but neither team really, honestly, they're getting a sizable advantage here. It is just a back cap though. In the meantime, papi, he's in and he gets the kill onto KO. Absolutely massive. Now Hugo shuts him down with an air shot, but is an air shot too late.
Unfortunately, so, and now we've got Zoe just running around in the back line. He's going to be sort of hiding over towards River. He has now been spotted. He'll be running out into second. Phil needs to land some pipes and does manage to juggle him with some splash there, but Phoenix now going to be jumping in and claiming most of this ground. So blue team have managed to get in very nicely, and KO now has to build his Uber charge as fast as humanly possible because Auto does have a sizable advantage.
It is such a sizable advantage. Here we are. Team papi really looking to convert, try to get it to a 2-2, stop worrying about the round deficit, put them in such a better position here. But they do allow time for the red team to set up. We have seen that engineer, that heavy, be such a nuisance for the blue team when they're trying to push in. You can see this time around, Hugo's doing so much work just denying so many members of the blue team to try and come forwards, and it allows Gazzy on the heavy to keep shooting players down. This is Soldier, prevents 2 from getting in. Without those 2 players, that push completely shut down.
Indeed, and it looks like they're now heading out on second, start capping up, and they get through the shot relatively clean, and they start heating up on this point. Sizable advantage for KO here, so we're going to see where they want to push from. And Choker's usually been like the port of call for pushing back into mid, so they're probably going to try and hammer this Choke as much as they can with some spam prior to their push, but Zoe's trying to do a little bit of a flank here. Papi's going to go in super deep, does manage to pick up Joe, and picks up that health pack and retreats all the way away, and Zoe does die as well, but Phoenix, like you mentioned, in behind. Gazzy in the front line trying to take a 1v5, it feels like, and does get down. Force comes in, a lock-and-load pipe hits KO in the face, so he gets forced, and now Phoenix and papi, these 2 soldiers in the back line. Nice air shot from Phoenix, Phil does Traitor, and papi going in for the bomb onto KO, finds that kill as well. They clean up Agent, the lone survivor, going to be trying to retreat here. He is just caught in another lock-and-load pipe comes in from Ratslayer.
Bit of a heroics there coming out of the blue team. It's so many members just kind of styling on their opponents right now. It feels like, honestly, Joe, never mind, goes in for the block and just gets the kill into Striker. The blue team, Team papi, they really want to go in there. They want to get that round conversion off of these kills, but instead, Joe's done such a good job just delaying the cap. Now they don't have soldiers in this push. It is still an advantage. It is still 2 down, but that heavy and that sentry gun, the blue team, they need a way to deal with this.
So they're going to be making their way in. Uber is used just to get on top of the sentry gun and clear the stickies off the point. They don't really do much else with this Uber. I felt like they could have just walked in. The heavy does get cleaned up eventually. Gaz going down. They've got someone sitting in secret. It is papi. They get the kill onto Phil as a result. KO gets cleaned up as well. And just piece by piece by piece, this red team is falling. And they're heading in towards the point to cap this one out. 1 soldier left with the escape plan. Unable to do so. It's going to be 2-2 as things now even up when.
things even up, and that is mighty fine for Team Papi here. 2-2 with 10 minutes and 45 seconds to play for. It is very much anyone's game here. It feels weird because the Ubercharge pushes aren't working, but the pushes where the team is like half dead do work.
Yeah, indeed, and it looks like we're going for a weird catwalk mid this time around. Agent does get in, but KO opts for going back to the low ground, runs through garbage instead, and links up with the rest of his team, and around to the blue crates they go. Both teams just going to be rotating around, see what they can do. A bit of a clockwork mid. Zoe gets the kill onto Agent as he's getting caught, gets caught on zone. Phil goes down as well. KO is now left high and dry. Auto has gone down on the other side of the fight, however. KO with a nice surf though, gets all the way back to catwalk on very, very low speed. Zoe with the cleanup in the end, and now Zoe versus 2 against Joe and Gaz. Gaz just mid shots him in the face, and looks like Papi going to be going in to see what he can do here, but he is in a 1v2 versus Scout and a Soldier, and that usually does not end very well.
He doesn't even make it past. Gazzy just takes the 1v1 there. Is the Scout. Papi electing to try and bomb a Scout. Doesn't usually work, I'm gonna be honest. Didn't work that time either. It is Gazzy and Hugo taking that middle capture, which is a little bit of an advantage for them. But honestly, it's just not really the end of the world for Team Papi. They could set up on seconds, even Ubers. It's not that bad. You can just sit back, relax, wait for the enemy to feed. Sure.
Hey, is that Chris Creek?
Ooh.
On KO. Now, I've not seen this yet.
Alright, here's the thing. Where would you crits from?
Catwalk,
Looks
for sure.
like... Yeah, maybe it is a catwalk here. Now it desperately... There we go. There's my Philip binder. Crits is popped. And it doesn't hit anything immediately. The second Shiki does find the kill on the Rat Slayer. Now the Ubercharge is just going to come out of auto. However, 200 times 0 is still 0, I'm afraid. And so there we go.
Oh,
now,
Joe.
there is so much damage coming across. Joe's just taken down. This fight, actually, somehow, it's going in the favor of the red team. It's only Papi left alive. This Uber trade just does not work out in the blue team's favor. Auto taken down by bow kill as well. That's Papi dying so late. And honestly, Joe might be looking for a round.
Yeah, indeed. I think Agent and Gaz just made a meat grinder as soon as that Uber ended and just cleaned up on absolutely everyone. So, very, very well played off that post Uber, and the mid fight was a little bit scrappy. But holding on to this last now, they've got this NG building up this gun. It is currently level 1. They've got Bold up on the Pyro as well, just trying to reflect anything he can away from it. But Crit Street does come out, so he reflects the first sticky into the ground. And they do get the kill onto Phil as well. So it's like Phoenix gonna go down as well. Crit Rocket comes out from Jojo, so Agent in as well. Joe currently caught in secret. Bomb comes in onto the point though. Hugo with tons of damage, and that just turns the tide of this fight instantaneously. Gazzy trying to get on top of this Boulder, sorry, get on top of this point, but the bomb there, Hugo, massive carry.
That is so big now for Team Joe as they get themselves another little round. It's 7.5 minutes now, which again, I mean, there is time for Team Papi, but you do not want to be a point down, especially on a map like this, where it's like, it feels like you're not sure what to do if you are down. You don't have the sort of playbook in your pocket. You're like, okay, we're going to break out like this play. You don't really have time for that. Instead, you don't have to freestyle it, trying to make something work here on this middle. It's Hugo, honestly, just getting the better of Papi there, sitting on top, spamming everything out on the blue side. Papi forced to go back for a pack. Now the counter aggression is going to come out. Phoenix jumping forwards, players on the blue team trying to go in, but it's Striker, it's Zoe. They both just get taken down, losing individual 1v1s, and now there's just no position for Team Papi. They're all stuck in a corner, and they're all just going to get taken down. I say that Hugo, bowed down by Auto, but that's the rest of the team going down. One Phoenix is in behind, and he has so much to do.
Are you ready to hear something insane, one?
Yeah.
Cast a curse. I'm going to cast a curse by saying the cast a curse has been inflicted.
Okay. Onto who and what?
So, currently, the Papi team is losing when they
Yes.
have 100% win rate, right?
Yes.
So I've just cast a curse the fact that they're losing so they won't lose. And now
Damn,
they're going to
thanks.
lose. It just keeps flipping on its head. It can never end.
No, but what if it keeps flipping endlessly, and then we don't know what's going to happen? It's actually in a crazy state.
That is
where...
exactly what happens normally, and we're just talking superstition. But Ubercharge about to come in, does go in through the river, and they just bomb in super deep onto, looks like Ratslayer. The gun is currently underneath this little catwalk area. It's very, very defended and covering the point. It's a very nice little gun spot, actually, there. There's so much defending. KO gets, nice little mini as well from Phoenix.
Oh, no.
They're going to try to clear out, but KO does manage to slip away.
Papi was so focused on trying to take down Joe. If he just turned around for a split second, there would have been a 10 HP medic right next to him that he could have shot with his eyes closed. Instead, unfortunately, now he's going to allow Joe to just run right back in. It's a lot of damage on the auto, but he just might have to pop it straight away because Hugo's in as well. Gets that Uber forced out, and this makes it really scary now for Team Papi. They lose that Uber charge advantage they did have. Team Joe, they can just sit back, get their players up. They have a guy in forwards.
They do indeed have a guy in forwards.
Is he
okay,
Gaz, or is he just...
I can never really tell with Gaz when he sits in the forward spawn.
No,
he's not.
Okay.
He's switching weapons, yeah.
But usually when you sit in forward spawn, right, you go on sniper or something. This is
No.
No, but
Gaz is the rodent. You don't understand.
I mean, he's on his phone right now. But besides that,
he's scrolling through Facebook. Uber charge comes up, and he rejoins the Uber. As the push
I
comes
wanted him
through.
to like, go behind. Instead, he's blocking his own second.
Yep, Papi and Zoe, they're doing a really good job of dragging these players around, and now they're going to be able to get some kind of setup on mid, in fact. So they get everyone in. Zoe's still in behind, but they kind of need to kill him off. Gaz is going to go take the 1v1. Looks like he's going to probably win this one at the end. Zoe juking.
He's 1 HP. And there we go. Hugo gets him.
I like how Zoe didn't shoot back. He just like accepted his fate. Like he's like, yeah, not winning this one. Just going to survive as long as I can without shooting. I don't know.
Uber advantage here for auto actually, sitting at 100%, but it's 80% for KO right now. Uber charge now is going to come forward here. Philip has to just jump this back, but it looks like maybe the red team, they managed to kite this successfully. Counter Uber can now come forward to kill onto Boulder, onto Ratslayer, immediately auto. Drop down so low into choke as well. He is just taken down. KO gets the Uber charge out, and Papi taken down. One Phoenix is all that remains. Is able to get that kill onto the medic. Not able to get anything else. That medic kill is crucial. To not just lose the round outright, the game outright. It's only 3 minutes and 40 seconds, Lucky. We don't have that much time left.
Yeah, they just lost track of Phoenix there. They didn't even know he was in behind them, so KO didn't know where to look, and you're standing in the choke, you can either walk forwards or walk backwards, so he opts to stand in choke though and just dies. So either way, he would have been screwed.
Yep. It's not the best. I mean, okay, here's the thing. Gaz is hiding again, which means that the red team, they are very much not looking to push. They are looking to do what we in the business call a bus parking, where they sit back on the middle and let the enemy team try to come into them. And it's technically an Uber disadvantage for them. There's only about 10%. Gaz is not going to shoot that soldier, and he's going to hold his fire and wait for something more juicy.
He's AFK again. He's scrolling through Instagram.
He's on his phone. He is texting your mother right now.
Yep.
There we go. Soldier jumps past him. Doesn't hit him. Gaz is going for the back. This is disgusting. How is that? How did Papi jumped next to him and the rocket didn't hit him? So Gaz just gets to go in on second, to use the back camp to draw players behind him, take the 1v1 with Zoe, beat him obviously. Never loses that in his life. There's a soldier next to him who doesn't shoot him!
No, he gets killed eventually.
I swear to God, this guy is invisible.
Yeah, he's playing Call of Duty Zombies, I'm telling you, like. The NPCs don't know who's there.
I mean,
it's like Hugo going in. Hugo into auto, does find the kill on second as well, so that's pretty crucial. As KO is all the way back out in choke across mid. So they're going to be able to reclaim this mid most likely, but they are going to start getting these forward spawns. They're going to get Joe in the next 2 seconds, so they're going to be looking to repush pretty much immediately off the back of that.
It's nice. It's actually looking kind of good. That late kill onto auto means that KO can just build up the Uber charge, 70% already. Looking to just kind of get the Uber charge. Looking to get into mid. The hard thing, honestly, it feels like now, because this is a new map, you just kind of have to be aware. You have to be really aware, because there inevitably will be a Zoe, as you can see already, trying to be cheeky onto the flank. You really don't want to pop this Uber onto mid. Ideally, you just want to use the threat to just kind of force the enemy team back, but instead you can see on the flank, it's a Zoe trying to bust it out here. Gets that burst onto Hugo, a lot of damage, but Phoenix is just in behind. Forces the Uber back to its own choke. They can't use it to go forwards. There's 2 kills on both scouts, Phoenix and Papi. They found so much damage here, and now 3 dead. The Uber charge has still not come out, but honestly, they haven't had an opportunity to use it. They just have to use it to escape. This is so tragic.
Yep, Joe jumps in, jumps back. I mean, that is pretty tragic. Like, they could have opted to run into them then, and then they would have got a trade at least, and then tried to escape, but they do neither. They just run back and keep running back, and then they have to use the Uber and run back some more. I'm very baffled. They may as well have dropped the Uber, but it's like blue team now have a full ad to play with, so they're going to start making their way in. A bit of a very push here. Every single push appears to have come in through River, but not this time.
They have 40 seconds to make this Ubercharge advantage push work, and they're straight onto the gun. It is taken down, but now they have to worry about the rest of the red team members here, but they just don't have any positioning. Now Gazzy is taken down. He's so far away from the rest of his team. Pyro is still up. Phoenix taken down. Decent rocket by papi here, and actually so much damage onto the Pyro here. Now 20 seconds is left on this round timer, but there is a scout on the point. We are going to a golden cap on map number 3.
Jesus. It's going all the way. It's going the distance. All the way to the golden cap. We're getting...
Very nice push, by the way. That's the first time they've managed to nail a 6v6 full Uberad push. They haven't managed to make it work so far. They finally get it done, and that is very nice to know that you are in fact capable of doing that going into a potential golden cap here.
Yeah. I feel like they've realized that when you're looking into last, this right-hand side is like the only place with any form of high ground that you can play off of. And if you play on the left-hand side, you're too close to the spawn and you might get just killed by a heavy mowing you down, shooting up at you and stuff. So if you play on the right-hand side, you get a good little bit of distance. So I feel like, as well, not pushing from this like riverside did them a lot of work. They got on the gun a lot faster, and they got on the heavy a lot faster. Just a lot of things were better. So pushing through lobby into right side seems to be the play, I think.
It does. It seemed a lot better, right? I think, honestly, the main thing is just being able to actually pick off the heavy. The heavy, honestly, just seemed a bit mispositioned as well. He was very far away from the rest of his team, kind of blobbed up. That Pyro, also not really bringing too much to the table, was able to just kind of get shut down, though. Into this mid-fight here, Lucky. The last mid-fight that we are going to see. Hopefully in Prime, we're not going to a golden mid-fight. I'm going to be honest.
Well, we did see 6 total rounds go through, so... I feel like that's a good enough amount of time for things to happen, but it depends on whether they're going to sweat out and actually try and win, or if they're going to play for funsies.
Fun is for casuals. This is the golden cap of the upper bracket finals of the Entropy and Subbase Cup. We are now here. Team Joe, Team Papi, all 3 maps that they have played have been very close against each other. We're in on the 2 middle here. Decent damage is dealt across on both sides, but it's Papi who's going to get taken down by Hugo first at the start of this middle. Now, the Soldier of Phoenix is going to try to jump up as well to kill him to Gaz, and now onto Hugo as well, means there is no flank for Team Joe anymore. They are stuck on to this point, but they're stuck in the enemy side as well. Honestly, they're sitting kind of far back, but neither team really has a Soldier able to properly commit. There's one scout on the high ground, but he's taken down by Sticky so low, and that scout might just be the key to things. There's no more high ground for the red team, and the bomb could come in. The kill does not come forwards onto KO. Instead, he pops his Uber. Auto actually doesn't have it. It's 2 kills here. The Israelis of Zoe and Phoenix, they are both taken down. There is 1 red member behind, but the red team, they want to go in. They cannot let Auto survive with his Uber charge. Kill onto Ratslayer. It's so nice. Auto hasn't popped yet still.
Yeah, it doesn't need to. I mean, Papi's just killing them all, so it doesn't really matter too much. He had a lovely little airshot on balcony, so they're going to be relaxing. They get this point. Auto now has 100% hand to play with. They're very calculated. It was looking pretty bad in the beginning because they lost Papi so early to Hugo hiding around the corner, but they played together really well, and they picked players off one by one, and they ended up winning the mid-fight in the end, and also retaining the super ad. So they make their way in through garbage onto second. They are going to get the second capture. No stickies to be seen at all. So now they're going to try and decide what they want to do with this Uber. And like we talked about before, I'm hoping it's going to be that main into right side push they did previously.
But they've taken enough time. They've given KO enough time to actually build up an Uber charge of his own. There's actually even Ubers now. Instead, they find themselves in an even Uber situation. The Pyro is up again. It's Gazzy this time around on the Pyro. Agent Spice on the Heavy. Yeah, honestly, I mean, even Ubers now, you have to figure out an angle. There's a reflect rocket onto Auto, and he's dropped down to half HP. Cannot sit in lobby anymore.
Oh, there is an angle there, isn't there? To reflect rockets
there
back
is.
in.
Look at this. The soldiers are shooting rockets through it, and Auto just got clipped by it, unfortunately. So much damage. Press 1 in chat if you've ever dropped a medic by shooting the rocket. Like a friendly medic by shooting a rocket at a Pyro.
I've done that before.
I have, in an official, I got crits into 1 in process, and there was a pyro there that pressed right click and my medic died.
Yeah, I did it to Crockett. It was funny. I
I
laughed.
also laughed. My medic did not laugh.
Yeah.
Shoutouts to Cabbage.
Shoutouts to Cabbage.
As, yeah, even Ubers right now. One player snacked in. Gaz on that spy. He's actually pushing forwards with it, not just using it to check for off classes. It is one spy for both. Never mind. Zoe just on the spy. He is actually just checking for off classes. He's going to come up on the sniper instead. Let's see if he can make his sniper angle work, honestly. Where is the sniper angle on this last?
I mean, into that lobby where they're reflecting rockets through, that's an angle.
Yes.
And then also you can kind of like hero shot through river maybe as well. That's an angle.
Oh, the Gazi spy is just pointed out there. They definitely know that Zoe is sniping. Question is, does it matter? He's walking through sticky bombs. There's stickies everywhere. Oh my god, none of them are dead. He has an angle onto the medic and he hits him! Just the body shot, and that's a drop. A headshot onto Agent Spice as well means that it's just 2 down. This is an absolute disaster for the red team because they're 3 dead. Gazi's finally come back up, but that Uber charge is completely uncontested. Now Demoman is so low on this point. There is one Gazi Pyro and it cannot hold. The Zoe sniper finds the drop and they get the round. It is GG. And Team Papi, they move on to the grand finals.
Gaz with a big fat donut in that last round. 0 points to his name. But there you go. Looks like Papi's going to be heading on. And commiserations to this German, I'm going to call it Germix.
Good stuff out of them, honestly.
Germix,
Those were very close, very intense maps. Of course, they will be losing. They lost this, but they will be moving on to face the winners of the losers round 1. Which has not been confirmed yet on the scoreboard, but it is either Team Flick or Team Silentes. Figured that out tomorrow. As I said, we have now watched a lot of games on these 2 maps. I think overall our thoughts remain that CP Subbase seems to be rather entertaining. I am enjoying watching this map.
Yeah, I agree. I think out of the 2 maps that we've got, it definitely seems like one that is going to be the best. I feel like the players as well will probably tell you the same thing. Like, if we got the players in here and we were like, yo guys, what do you think about this map? And I think everyone would sort of come up with exactly the same things after playing them so much. But this is kind of what you need if you want to test new maps and get them in the pool. You need rigorous testing, and that's exactly what this is showcasing right now.
You need rigorous testing, a lot of play, and this is a good start. Get the big brains on it as well.
Yeah.
Hopefully pass some feedback. Once again, shoutouts to Yilin for making this map. Shoutouts to Equal for making Entropy, and shoutouts to the both of them for hosting this cup as well. This is hosting a cup is a nightmare. I don't know.
Yeah.
It is an absolute nightmare. Prem players are annoying to deal with. These guys are doing it anyway, going out of their way, getting feedback from the maps. Love to see it.
Organising the teams, organising the players.
Yep.
Insane stuff. Very, very nice. Also, big shout outs to Samus for producing all day. She's insane. So good job to you, and shout out to you, Juan, for casting with me today, even though we should get shoved off production right now.
Yeah, we should never be allowed to cast again. I'm sorry, everyone who had to listen to this. That being said, Lucky and I think we're out of words.
We've run out of words.
We're out of words.
I'm done. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for
guys.
For
remember
tuning
tomorrow at 7 CET. That means 19 CET. We will be back with the lower bracket round 2, the lower bracket finals, and to the finals afterwards as well for more TF2 action this weekend in the preseason. That's it for us. We're going to bed now. Good night.